Memorial Trophy. Both the Rams and the Hilltops will be looking to strong defenses to lead them through this afternoon's action. On defense, the Saskatoon Hilltops are led by linebacker Sam Dow, as well as safety Jason Weber and defensive halfback Mitch Barber. The Rams will be looking to linebackers Randy Strochensky and Lloyd McDonald to lead them through this afternoon's contest. On offense, the Rams will be looking to their star, quarterback Darrell Leeson, to lead them to victory. On the Hilltop side of the ball, Sheldon Ball has had to replace the injured Dave Reedy, and the Hilltops will be looking to Ball and to Kevin Sizowski to lead them through the afternoon.
Set for the opening kickoff. The Rams to receive, defending the left end here at Taylor Field. Jason Beulah fields the kick at his own 10. He cuts up the middle, has some room. To the 50. He goes to midfield. He is into Hilltop's territory. He knocked out of bounds at about the Hilltop's 35-yard line. Ooh, baby, a great start for the Regina Rams.
Well, the Saskatoon Hilltops are usually known for their great special team play, but they get a little taste of it from the Regina Rams here. Jason Beulah taking that kickoff and bringing a 55-yard boot by Greg Moe. Jason Beulah brings it back 56 yards down to the Saskatoon Hilltop 34-yard line. We're going to get a little more tacked on as well here. Rough play on the Saskatoon Hilltops, so big start for the Regina Rams.
The scary thing for the opposition has to be, Paul, the fact that the Regina Rams, as good as they have been for the last couple of years, have not really come out and blown a team off the face of the earth, which they are capable of doing. So we'll look for that today because they are off to a great start. Darrell Leeson is the quarterback. Mike Maurer and Todd Ortner are in the backfield. On first and 10 from the 20. Leeson wants to pass for Eamon. He's to the 1-yard line. That pass looked like it was attempted for Eamon, but luckily Mr. Beulah was right in behind him and made the catch. It will now be first and goal from the 1-yard line.
Well, you called it exactly right, Ron, because that pass was to Chad Eamon, the slot back, just breaking into the middle of that zone defense of the Saskatoon Hilltops. Ball sailed a little bit on Darrell Leeson, but Jason Beulah in behind comes up with that big grab at the Hilltop 1-yard line.
Josh Shaw and Dan Goodmanson now at the wideouts. Chad Eamon, Sean Harvey are the slot backs. Jamie Bailey and Mike Maurer now in the backfield. Leeson keeps it himself, and he still waiting for a signal. There it is. The Rams are on the board just like that. Only 46 seconds into the ball game.
Well, Coach Frank McChrystal talked about the importance of getting off to a quick start against this Saskatoon Hilltop football team, and he got his wish here this afternoon. A great return by Jason Beulah on special teams. One big completion to Jason Beulah down at the 1. Darrell Leeson takes it in for the opening touchdown for the Regina Rams.
And even more importantly, Paul, was the fact that in the last 2 games, the Rams did not get off to good starts. In Saskatoon, they didn't get any points in the first half. The last game, the semifinal against the Edmonton Wildcats, they managed a touchdown, but not until the final minute of the first half.
Well, and that was one of the reasons the Saskatoon Hilltops were able to play with the Regina Rams. Certainly it built their confidence level. They were able to hold that vaunted Ram offense in check for that entire first half, and they really felt they had an opportunity to win the game. Once the Regina Rams started to roll, things kind of came apart for them a little bit. We'll see how they react here this afternoon after that quick score by the Regina Rams.
What a start it has been for the Regina Rams. We are just 44 seconds into this PFC final, and the Rams have already taken a 7-0 lead. The point after attempt by Matt Kellett was good. And now the Rams are in front by that 7-0 count. Kellett will kick off from his own 45. A couple of men, Kevin Tuzowski and Sheldon Duval, standing at about their own 5-yard line, ready to receive the kickoff from the best kickoff man in all of Canadian junior football, Matt Kellett. He gets away his usual deep kick that bounces at about the 10, 15-yard line. This is Tuzowski. He takes it up the middle and is brought down by Danny Pascu, right at about the 30-yard line where the Hilltops will begin 1st and 10.
Well, and Tuzowski limping a little bit when he got up from that tackle from Dan Pascu, and obviously a very important part of that Hilltop offense. He's stretching out his, looks like his quadricep muscle there, took a shot right on the side, so certainly they'll want to keep him healthy here. We'll see how the Saskatoon Hilltops react on offense.
Sheldon Ball is their starting quarterback. Kirby Fry, Kevin Tuzowski are in the backfield. Brennan Fobel, Jim Fox, the wide receivers. Jeff Sukachoff and Reagan Simpson are the slot backs. And on 1st and 10, the give was to Tuzowski, and he falls down in the backfield. That will be a loss of about 5 yards.
Well, it looked like Tuzowski was just going to try to cut back a bit. The Regina Rams were flowing well to the near sidelines here to shut that sweep down. Tried to cut back up into the middle of that Ram defense. His feet went out from underneath him. Falls down at the 25-yard line, so they're looking at about 2nd and 14 from their own 25.
Ball looking over that Rams defense, which is one of the best in all of Canadian junior football. Some early movement. Flags are down, and we'll see what these calls are about.
Well, that's going to be procedure on the Saskatoon Hilltops that time. It's either the right guard, Kelly Bates, or the right tackle, Sean Side, that jumped a little bit early that time, got out of his stance before the ball was snapped. Official threw a flag. That's going to be another 5 yards against the Saskatoon Hilltops, push them back inside their own 20 yards.
Saskatoon number 44.
2nd and 20.
Second down repeated.
That Rams defense for you, which is second to none in all of Canadian junior football. Dennis Losey, Michael Milo are the ends. Steve Uren, Chad Zipchen are the tackles. Wavell Star, Randy Stroczynski, and Lloyd McDonald are the linebackers. On 2nd and about 19 yards to go. Ball gives it up the middle to Tuzowski, and he is brought down after a gain of just a couple of yards, and a big defensive play by Stevie Uren.
Well, Stevie Uren has really come into his own in the last couple of games here, just dominating the inside of that line of scrimmage for the Regina Rams from his defensive tackle position. He does a good job of taking on a double team there, slides over into the hole, gets a big arm on Tuzowski, and throws him down after a very short gain.
On to punt now for the Saskatoon Hilltops. Greg Moe ranked 5th in the PFC with a 35.2-yard average. Frankowski and Jason Beulah standing at about the Rams' 45-yard line. Here's the kick, not a bad one. Beulah fields at his own 50. Makes a move, and he is brought down right at the center field mark.
Well, again, some great field position for the Regina Rams. Daryl Leeson is going to bring his offensive teammates onto the field now, taking over right at that center field stripe. Their opening possession, the Regina Rams put it into the end zone. Now they're out again here with some great field position. See if they can capitalize and put more points on the board here against the Hilltops.
The offensive line, a darn good one for the Regina Rams, has Trent Langford at center. The guards are Dougie Clark and Darren Bird. Corey Bosa and Scott Waters are the tackles. Right now, Todd Ortner, the lone man in the backfield. Leeson gets it away quickly for Sean Harvey. Complete at the far side, and he will be very close to a first down. Give him a gain of 9.5 yards.
Well, Sean Harvey just breaking out to that far sideline from his slot back position. He's wide open over there. Daryl Leeson with that long throw, and it is a long throw out there, but with some good arm strength, he gets the ball out there. Harvey does the rest, driving ahead down to the Hilltop 45-yard line. Rams 2nd and 1 from there.
Sean Harvey in his 3rd year with the Rams, a 6-foot, 197-pound slot back out of Usher Collegiate here in Regina. It will be 2nd and 1 for the Rams, and I do believe that's time for the double diesel, is it not?
Well, we would expect to see the double diesel out there, but before we do that, the Regina Rams have to call a timeout. Didn't have the proper personnel on the field, and obviously got caught running out of time here on that 20-second clock, so they've elected to call a timeout here. Burn one of those up, make sure they got the right people on there. Obviously, they do not want to screw this up here. 2nd and 1 from the Hilltop 45-yard line.
Frank McChrystal is the head coach of the Regina Rams in his 10th year at the helm. The offensive coordinator, Bernie Schmidt. Offensive backfield coach, Ray Petrie. On the O-line, Jerry Orban, who has been around for a long time as well. Rick Seaman, another veteran coach with the Regina Rams, is the defensive backfield coach. On the D-line, Ronnie Singer handles things. The defensive coordinator, Alex Smith.
Well, and Ronnie Singer also handles the special teams for the Regina Rams, and I'm sure he'll be very proud of what happened on that opening kickoff. Really got the Regina Rams off to a great start.
It is 2nd and 1 for the Regina Rams. From the Hilltops, 45. Leeson gets out Bailey, and he has a big hole. Off tackle to the left side, and that will be another Regina Rams first down.
Well, you got a lot of beef in the backfield there. Actually, we used to call it the double diesel, but we're forced to change the terminology now to triple diesel. One of the big offensive tackles, Corey Borsa, actually goes back into the backfield along with Todd Ortner and Jamie Bailey, two of the big Regina Ram fullbacks. They crash ahead, pick up a big first down to the Hilltop 37-yard line.
Leeson, the top-rated passer in the PFC, number 3 in Canada, coming into this game during the regular season. Leeson gets to Maurer. He has a nice hole off tackle to the right side and give him a gain of about 6 yards.
Well, again, some great running by Mike Maurer, forced into action with the injury to Mark Bernard earlier in the year. Suffered a torn knee ligament. He's gone for the season. Mike Maurer has stepped in, a virtual rookie for the Regina Rams, and done a tremendous job out there this year. 49 carries for 357 yards, a 7.3-yard average. So he certainly is capable of racking up some big yardage for the Regina Rams.
As you say, Paul, Mr. Maurer has done a great job in the absence of Mark Bernard. Didn't play football last year because of a rugby injury. 19 years old, out of Johnson Collegiate in Regina. They give to Bailey once more. He fights hard for the first down inside the 25, down to about the Hilltops 22-yard line.
Well, we'll get Jamie Bailey's actual weight that is listed in the program right now at 240 pounds, but I would venture to say as a big fullback, he may have even added a little bit more beef out there. Big 6'1", 240-pound fullback. Very tough to stop. He drives down to the Hilltop 22-yard line. The Rams have another first down.
Jamie Bailey out of Central Collegiate in Moose Jaw, and we've said it many times before in these broadcasts, folks. Several Moose Jaw boys on this team, and they all make huge, enormous contributions. They take the counter play to even look into the end zone for Beulah, and the good coverage there provided by the Hilltops. That is number 28, Justin Lawshak.
Well, actually, it was some very good coverage by the Saskatoon Hilltops that time. Jason Beulah just running a fly pattern over on that far side of the field. Daryl Leeson rolling to his left a bit, gets some good air underneath that football, trying to drop it over top of the defender. The ball's a little bit short, falls for a long incompletion. Rams go again, 2nd and 10 from the Hilltop 22-yard line.
10 minutes and 12 seconds left to go here at the opening quarter. The Rams lead the Hilltops 7-0 in this, the PFC final. On 2nd and 10, Leeson wants to pass again, looking to the end zone for Beulah. No, just knocked away again. Lofchak on the coverage. That pass attempted for Dan Goodmanson.
Well, the Regina Rams seem to be running the ball well on that series. Got down to about the 22-yard line, elected to put 2 long ones up into the end zone, and Saskatoon Hilltops, Justin Lofchak came up with a couple of big defensive plays for the Hilltops. That gets that drive stalled, but it's going to bring Matt Kellett onto the field now. He'll be trying a 29-yard field goal for the Regina Rams.
Matt Kellett first in PFC scoring with 65 points. He finished 5th in the country in scoring. Here to attempt a 22-yard field goal. He was good on 8 of 16 during the regular season. This one is up and down, and it is good. A 29-yard field goal by Matt Kellett. The Rams have pulled in front 10-0 with 9 minutes, 42 seconds left to go in the opening quarter. You are listening to Rams football.
Regina Rams have taken an early 10-0 lead over the Hilltop here at the PFC final at Taylor Field. On the opening kickoff, Jason Beulah returned the ball 57 yards, followed that by a 17-yard reception, and Daryl Leeson took it in from 1 yard out. The Rams heading ahead 10-0.
For the Hilltops from their own 35-yard line. I believe that was Szewski on the carry, and a nice run for him. Very close to a first down.
Well, just going with some very basic stuff, and the Saskatoon Hilltops are known for that. Szewski taking it off tackle and just getting a head of steam up. Lloyd McDonald moving over from his linebacking spot, finally puts the clamper on him, but he's got about 9 yards in the carry. Out to the Hilltop 45-yard line. They'll go 2nd and 1 from there.
On 2nd and short, Paul gives to Kirby Fry. He tries to get around the outside. He'll have the first down. Marco Ricci amongst a huge gentleman in there trying to bring the man down, and they do, but not before he picked up the first down. That was actually number 32 carrying the football, Brad Churchwell.
Well, Churchwell, a big fullback, just rumbling around that left side, was getting some big pursuit from Lloyd McDonald from the backside. He got a hold of him, and Marco Ricci in front trying to pull that ball out to see if they can create a turnover here, but the Hilltops pick up a first down at their own 50-yard line.
Churchwell and Kozlowski in the backfield on 1st and 10. They fake to get to Churchwell. Ball wants to pass, gets to the outside. Now he pulls it down and runs, gets by one man, and he is finally brought down after a gain of about 6 yards.
Well, you know what was running through linebacker Randy Sorchinski's mind that time? He saw that Sheldon Ball rolling out to the right side and took off. Randy Sorchinski laid Sheldon Ball out with a tremendous hit up in Saskatoon the last time these two teams met. This time just lowered his head a bit and simply ran right by him, but he was going to deliver the knockout blow that time. Sheldon Ball wisely got to the turf after about a 6-yard pickup.
Can't say enough about the job Michael Milo did last week against the Edmonton Wildcats. By far one of the best players on the field. And Randy Sorchinski comes back with a big defensive play to bring down Kozlowski for a loss of about 1 yard. It will be third and about 6 yards to go for the Saskatoon Hilltops. A great play there by Randy Sorchinski.
Well, I'm not sure that time if that was a called blitz or whether Randy Sorchinski simply reacting to the play from his middle linebacking spot, but did a great job of reading that play, stepping up into the hole, and getting Kozlowski down for absolutely no gain.
In his 4th year with the Regina Rams, Randy Sorchinski, 6'3", 220 pounds, out of O'Neill. The punt by Greg Moe is fielded by Jason Beulah at his own 20-yard line, brings it up to the 30, and he is brought down there by number 35 for the Saskatoon Hilltops, Sean Morton.
Well, Jason Beulah, one of the young men that came over from the Edmonton Huskies this past year, and certainly been an important addition to this Regina Rams football club. We saw a great kickoff return on the opening kickoff by the Hilltops, and he was one tackle away from actually breaking that one as well as he headed for this near sideline. In any event, Darrell Leeson and his offensive mates are back on the field now at their own 30-yard line. 1st and 10 from there.
Yeah, Beulah, the top-rated punt returner in the PFC coming into this game. 41 for 433 yards, including a 74-yarder for a touchdown. On 1st and 10, again, it is the pass to Sean Harvey, and he'll have a nice gain of about 6 yards. Can't ask for much more than that on 1st down. A nice way to start off.
Well, the offensive coordinator for the Regina Rams, Bernie Schmidt, must have picked up something that the Saskatoon Hilltops are actually playing very soft over on that far corner. Again, just leaking the slot back, Sean Harvey out to that far sideline. He has the wide receiver clear the area for him. Long throw by Darrell Leeson. He picks up the ball and does the rest, getting very close to that 1st down marker with about a 9-yard pickup.
Kind of kidding Sean Harvey at practice this week. A great receiver. Last couple of games, maybe a couple of soft ones that he had dropped, and Harvey's not that kind of football, so he certainly has vengeance on his mind here today. The give on 2nd and short is to Jamie Bailey, and he fights hard. Looks like he was going to be brought down in the backfield, but fought hard, picked up a gain of about 5 yards, and that will be another Regina Rams 1st down.
Well, Jamie Bailey running the ball very hard in these short yardage situations for the Regina Rams. Just crashed into the line of scrimmage there, was held up, bounced to the outside, had one of the wide receivers out in front of him, Josh Shaw, trying to block, but he's got more than enough for a 1st down, so the Rams out to their own 46.5-yard line. Another 1st down. They pick up now 4 on the day.
6 minutes and 24 seconds left to go here in the opening quarter. The Rams lead the Hilltops 10-0 in this, the PFC final. On 1st and 10, Leeson wants to pass, puts it in there. We're going to see how they call this one. Yes, it is a reception. Was that Harvey again? No, that was Darrell's brother, Michael Leeson, who worked hard to hang on to that football.
Well, he did a great job of wrestling that ball away from the Hilltop defender that time. Some pretty good coverage. Darrell Leeson dropping back in the pocket, finds his brother out about 8 yards. Mike and the Saskatoon Hilltop defender over there caught the ball simultaneously, but Michael wrestled it away, and he picks up 7 yards on the play.
Graham McCumber providing the coverage there. Very good. Credit Leeson for taking the ball away from him. It is 2nd and 3 for the Rams from their own 54. Leeson wants to run, and he will have the 1st down into Hilltop territory at about their 49-yard line.
Well, again, just displaying the size and strength that has made Darrell Leeson such a valuable part of this Ram offense. That play is designed to go outside, but the Hilltops have done a good job of turning it back up the middle. Darrell Leeson just put his head down, used that great strength that he possesses to drive forward to the Hilltop 50-yard line, Rams pick up another first down. They're marching the ball again here.
They have 5 of them thus far into the game with 5 minutes, 25 seconds left to go in the opening quarter. The Hilltops have managed just 1. On 1st and 10. From the Hilltops 49, the give is to Meyer. He gets to the outside after running run. A great run by Mike Meyer inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line of the Hilltops.
Well, this is the most impressive start we've seen from the Regina Ram offense in a number of games here this afternoon, and they are doing it primarily on the ground. A couple of short passes, but again, just ripping that Saskatoon Hilltops defense with some excellent ball carrying. Jamie Bailey and Mike Maurer leading the way on the ground for the Regina Rams.
5 minutes remain in this opening quarter of this, the PFC final. Rams and Hilltops. The Rams lead at 10-0. On 1st down.
Well, a great throw that time by Darrell Leeson, just stepping back in the pocket and allowing that speedster, Dan Goodmanson from Riffle High School, running a post pattern, just broke into the clear. A perfect strike from Darrell Leeson, and the Regina Rams hit with another touchdown. They're up 16-0 on the Saskatoon Hilltops here with a point after coming up.
Dan Goodmanson, 5'10", 155 pounds, a rookie at a Riffle, as Paul mentioned, and not very big, but the boy has wheels.
Yes, he can run. There's no question that his greatest asset is his speed. He was timed in the running program in the winter at a 4.56 for the Regina Rams, so he's certainly capable of flying, and that time just simply ran away from the Hilltop defenders and hauled in that pass from Darrell Leeson for a touchdown.
The point after attempt coming up here from Matt Kellett. The ball is down, and it is good. You can make the score. The Regina Rams 17, the Saskatoon Hilltops no score. 4 minutes, 50 seconds left to go here in the opening quarter. You are listening to Rams football.
Goodmanson here at the Prairie Football Conference Final. It's promising to be another classic confrontation. During the regular season, the Rams and the Hilltops have met over since 1976. They've had the Rams win 19 times and the Hilltops 18 times. And in postseason play during that time, the Rams have taken 9 games from the Hilltops, while the Hilltops have won only 3. During that time, the average score has been 26-18 for the Rams in postseason play. Right now, it's 17-0 here at Taylor Field.
Kickoff at his own 10-yard line. A pretty good run back as he brings it out to the 40, where the Hilltops will scrimmage 1st and 10.
Well, the Saskatoon Hilltops, this is a very important offensive drive for them right now. They're going to have to try to answer something with the Regina Rams defense on that field right now. They've only picked up 1 first down here this afternoon. The Regina Rams have already put 17 points on the board, so if they have any thoughts of winning this football game here today, they are going to have to answer and try to get something on the board on this drive.
Sheldon Ball took over from Dave Reedy, who broke his collarbone. Ball trying a little sneaky stop there. Just grabbed the ball from center and went right behind the center and picked up a gain of about 4 yards.
Well, just electing to run their short yardage offense almost, it looked like out there that time, to see if they can get some positive yards. And Sheldon Ball does a good job of just driving ahead to the Hilltop 44-yard line. Ram defensive line just not expecting that, I think, and sort of ran by them before they were really set in their position.
The Rams secondary, Derek Fink, Todd Fuchs are the corners. Marco Ricci, Jeff Haggerty, the defensive back. Danny Pascu is the safety. They take to give up the middle to Pizowski. Ball wants to pass. It is no. Jeff Sukachov on the receiving end could not hang on to the football.
Well, Jeff Sukachov just going downfield about 7 or 8 yards and then hooking over towards that far sideline. As he looked back for the football, I think he got a glimpse of Jeff Haggerty moving over from his defensive half spot. Took his eye off the ball maybe for a minute and just dropped it as Haggerty was coming to lay the big hit on him.
Now, he either heard the footsteps coming or he was heading upfield before he had a handle on that football. In any case, it is 3rd and 6 for the Hilltops. They will punt. Greg Moe on to do that. Gets away a pretty good one. Right to Jason Beulah at his 32. Tries to head to the outside. is across the 40 and brought down on a nice open field tackle once again by Sean Morton.
Well, again, a good return by Jason Beulah, just making sure that he catches that ball, steps upfield and around one of the Hilltop defenders, breaks to that sideline, gets some positive yardage on the return for the Regina Rams. And Darrell Leeson is back on the field again, starting out at his own 43-yard line. The Regina Rams have put points on the board every time they've had the ball here this afternoon. See if they can continue that string.
Leeson is the quarterback. Bailey and Maurer are in the backfield. We've got Shaw, Eamon, and Bailey to the near side here. Beulah and Michael Leeson on the far side. Everybody going out. Oh, this one is picked off, intended for Jason Beulah, but number 22 for the Saskatoon Hilltops comes in to make a big play. That is Mitch Barber, and Barber, that would be his 6th interception of the season.
Well, certainly one of the best defensive backs that the Saskatoon Hilltops have, and he just played that ball perfectly. Darrell Leeson thought that there was a blitz coming that time, looked for the hot receiver, but Mitch Barber stepped up into that little hook zone where Darrell Leeson likes to deliver that ball. He comes up with the big interception. So here's a chance for the Hilltops to see if they can work themselves back into this football game.
3 minutes left in the first quarter. Ball gives to Tizowski. You know, fakes it. Nice fake there. He faked me out. Paul took it around the right side for a gain of about 2 yards.
Well, he was going to roll to his right and look downfield for a receiver, but saw that there was some open field available and elected to turn it up, but closed down very quickly on him as he got across the Regina Rams 40-yard line. They'll give him credit for about a 2-yard pickup on the play. That'll put the Saskatoon Hilltops now in a 2nd and 8 situation, so very important for them to pick up a first down here.
Rams lead it 17-0 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first quarter. On 2nd and 8. Ball straight back. It is complete to Reagan Simpson, his first catch of the ball game, and that ball will be good enough for a Hilltops first down.
Well, Reagan Simpson was a big part of that Hilltop offense. The last time that the Saskatoon Hilltops and the Regina Rams met, he had 8 catches right in that area in front of Marco Risi. So obviously they like to go in that little hook zone, see if they get the ball away quickly. Reagan Simpson finds the open area. Lloyd McDonald, the big linebacker, forced to come over and make the tackle on him.
Reagan Simpson finishing 4th in the PFC in receiving this season. 26 catches for 327 yards and 1 touchdown. By far their leading receiver. Now 1st and 10 for the Hilltops from the Rams 30-yard line. Ball again back to pass. Here comes Lloyd McDonald, and he is down in the backfield there and flags down as well.
Well, there's a big pressure put on by the linebacker Lloyd McDonald of the Regina Rams, coming on a blitz that time. This is where you'll see that the Regina Rams like to send people a little more when they get backed up in their own end a little bit to see if they can create a little more pressure on the quarterback of the Saskatoon Hilltops. Again, a virtual rookie for them, and certainly not comfortable back there in that situation with those big linebackers barreling down on him.
Lloyd McDonald, 6'2", 212 pounds in his 4th year out of Peacock High School in Moose Jaw. Yes, another one of those Moose Jaw boys that makes a huge contribution to this Regina Rams football team.
Well, no question about that. Frank McChrystal has spent a lot of time sort of cultivating that Moose Jaw connection, if you like, and he's managed to attract some very quality football players to this team, and obviously hopes that that continues on into the future as well.
They get 1st and 20 for the Hilltops from the Rams 40-yard line. Ball in some trouble. He's down in the backfield. Bringing him down there was Michael Milo.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Ron, that he had a great game against the Edmonton Wildcats and a very elusive quarterback, Chris Hardy, for them. Today, he's starting off and doing the same thing, bringing some big pressure from the outside that time. Tracks Sheldon ball down from behind. That pushes the ball back to the Regina Rams 51-yard line. They have got to get to the 20-yard line of the Regina Rams for a first down, so they are looking at 2nd and 31 here right now.
Michael Milo, 6'2", 219 pounds, the pride of Ituna, Saskatchewan. On 2nd and 31. The give is to Tizowski. Up the middle, he gets about, maybe 7 yards back, but it'll be 3rd and very long still for the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Well, obviously, just seeing if they can catch the Regina Rams, maybe coming with another blitz, trying a little draw play that time, see if they can get back as much yardage as they can and maybe work themselves into field goal position. Regina Rams had nothing to do with that as Wavell Star and Lloyd McDonald again closing down quickly on Tizowski. That'll bring Greg Moe on to punt from the Rams 45-yard line.
40 seconds left to go here in the opening quarter. The Rams lead it 17-0. Moe's punt from midfield tries to get it towards the sidelines, but Beulah fields it at his 15. They try and set up the wedge. He's got some room. Flags down on the play as Beulah brings it out to about the 28-yard line.
Well, he's having a great afternoon here on both kickoff and punt return. He's doing a good job of making sure he hangs on to the ball and then getting upfield right away. Doesn't elect to go to the sideline. Have to wait for the call from the official. It looks like it's going to be a blocking infraction against the Regina Rams, however, so that's going to bring the ball back a little deeper into their end. And obviously the worst field position the Regina Rams has started with here this afternoon. Last time Darrell Leeson was on the field, he threw an interception. This time he'll start from his own 10-yard line, 1st and 10.
Another pretty good crowd on hand here, Paul, this afternoon for this PFC final. Not as many as we'd like to see, and maybe not as many that were here for the Riders game yesterday, but still a pretty good one nonetheless.
Well, you're right. Maybe there's some people driving around listening to the broadcast, and lots of space here if you want to come down and watch the rest of this exciting tilt here this afternoon.
With 10 seconds left to go in the opening quarter, Leeson kind of fumbles the snap, keeps it himself, and goes forward for a couple of yards.
Well, a little mishandling there between Darrell Leeson and center Darren Bird. The ball just popped up as Darrell Leeson tried to back away from the center, but he was able to get the handle on it again, and that'll bring the first quarter to an end.
17-0. The Rams lead the Hilltops in this, the PFC final. You're listening to Rams football. From their own 12-yard line. They give us to Mike Maurer. He tries to head to the outside, but coming up to make a nice defensive play there for the Saskatoon Hilltops was number 22, Mitch Barber, already with one interception here this afternoon.
Well, Maurer trying to use that good speed that he possesses to get around the corner, but the Saskatoon Hilltops did a good job of stringing that out and shutting him down. So Matt Kellett's going to come on the field here. He's going to have to punt against what appears to be a wind that's slowly starting to pick up a little bit here at Taylor Field, and the Regina Rams right now are going into that wind, so we'll see how that affects the kicking of Matt Kellett.
Matt Kellett will now have to punt from his own end zone. Kevin Duzowski and Sheldon Duval standing at about midfield, awaiting this kick from Kellett. Kellett's kick is a pretty good one. Duval fields it at the Rams' 45-yard line, and he is going nowhere. Back. Brought down almost immediately. Devin Gusa in there. Johnny Carmichael, a little extracurricular activities after the whistle had gone. I don't see any flags down on the play, so they'll let it go for now.
Well, the Regina Rams dominated on the scoreboard in that first quarter, racking up 17 points to 0 for the Saskatoon Hilltops. They did the same thing statistically. 55 yards on the ground, 77 yards in the air for a total of 132 yards. The Hilltops, meanwhile, picked up 34 on the ground and only 11 passing for a total of 45. Got Darrell Leeson here this afternoon, 5 for 8 for 77 yards in the first quarter.
13 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in quarter number 2. 1st and 10 Hilltops from the Rams' 45-yard line. They give it to Tuzowski. He has a nice gain on first down of about 5 yards.
Well, did a good job of getting up ahead of steam. Wavell Starr was there as the linebacker as he crashed through on that off-tackle play to the right. Did a good job of getting his shoulder square to that line of scrimmage and driving upfield. Picked up about 5 yards after it looked like he was going to get caught right about the line of scrimmage.
Wavell Starr, 6'1", 210 pounds in his 4th year out of Tom Collegiate. On 2nd and 5, Hilltops from the Rams' 39-yard line. Ball again gives to Tuzowski. Michael Milo misses the tackle. McDonald has a chance. He brings him down, but I think Tuzowski will have the Hilltops first down.
Well, just had enough speed to go around that far side of the Hilltop offensive line and get around that corner against some big pressure from Lloyd McDonald, but they've got enough yardage for that first down, so they push the ball down to the Rams' 32-yard line now. Again, the Regina Rams leading 17-0. 13 minutes left here in the second quarter, so it's going to be important. If the Hilltops want to have a chance at getting back into this game, they've got to put something on the board here quickly.
They did not take advantage last time when they had the interception on the turnover. Some good field position. They have good field position here again. You're only going to get it so many times against this Ram defense. Once again on 1st and 10, ball keeps it himself, goes right behind the center, and picks up a gain of about 3 yards.
Well, they must have picked up something that the Regina Rams are doing on defense on first down, and obviously Sheldon Ball feels that he's quick enough to be able to get in behind that center and just push ahead for some yardage. He manages to pick up about 4 on the play and moves the ball down to the Ram 27.5-yard line. They'll be looking at about 2nd and 5.5 to 6 from there.
Brzezowski, the lone man in the backfield. They give it to him, and he is stopped short of the first down. Again, good work by the Rams defensive line.
Well, again, some good work by the Ram defensive line and some great fill from the defensive halfbacks again. Jeff Haggerty and company moving in very quickly when Brzezowski gets held up there. That's going to leave the Hilltops a little bit short. So a big call here for head coach Dave Hardy right now. They're going to call a timeout and discuss this, obviously trailing 17-0. They don't want him to make a mistake down here.
12 minutes, 11 seconds left to go in quarter number 2. The Rams lead it, as Paul said, 17-zip. You are listening to Rams football.
Plugged in yet.
Coming up with a football.
Well, that is a big, big play for that Regina Ram defense. It has to be tremendously demoralizing to the Saskatoon Hilltops. They had gotten that ball in good field position, drove it down to about the 27.5-yard line of the Regina Rams. Looking at a 3rd and 1, Coach Hardy trailing 17-0, elected to try to keep the drive alive, and unfortunately for him, a big fumble by Sheldon Ball and a big fumble recovery for the rookie from the Regina Rams, Chad Zipchen.
Not often, Paul, that a rookie makes such an impact in his first season with the Regina Rams, but Chad Zipchen, an 18-year-old out of Usher Collegiate, certainly has. 1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 23-yard line. Leeson wants the pass, pumps one, then spots a wide open brother, Michael Leeson, across the 35-yard line to about the 38. That will be a Rams first down. Credit the O-line. Leeson had all day to make that pass.
Well, that's exactly what made that pass go. The offensive line just giving Daryl Leeson all day long to look downfield. He checked about 3 or 4 different receivers before he found his brother open over the middle. Delivered a big strike to brother Michael. He turns it upfield to the 40-yard line. The Rams pick up a first down. They'll go from there, 1st and 10.
Leeson and Shaw to the near side here. We've got Goodmanson and Sean Harvey to the far side. Leeson wants to run it himself. He's across the 45-yard line. Another great athletic play by the one, the only Daryl Leeson.
Well, a big 25-yard pickup for Daryl Leeson. He's the leading rusher for the Regina Rams, and that's amazing when you think of he's playing that quarterback position. Daryl Leeson on the year had 73 carries for 699 yards, and get this, a 9.6 yard per carry average, which was the best in the whole country of Canada.
That is truly amazing for a quarterback. This kid can do it all. 11 minutes, 5 seconds left to go here in quarter number 2. The Rams lead the Hilltops 17-0. They give it to Mike Bauer on first down. He's got all kinds of running room. That will be another Regina Rams first down across the 35 to about the Hilltops 33-yard line.
Well, again, the running game of the Regina Rams just ripping some big holes in that Saskatoon Hilltop defense. Mike Bauer getting ahead for a big 11-yard pickup. He pushes the ball down to the Hilltop 34-yard line. So the Regina Rams, they stalled the last couple of times they were on offense, but they seem to have things going again here. They're putting a good drive together and threatening to add to their 17-0 lead.
Jamie Bailey, Todd Orther in the backfield for the Rams. Leeson wants to pass again on 1st and 10. Doubles the football, it's happening. Corey Borsa picks it up. He wants to run a little bit. And, wow, a broken play, and Corey Borsa made something out of nothing.
Well, Corey Borsa was filling in at the fullback spot for the Regina Rams when Todd Ortner got hurt, and Jamie Bailey was a bit mixed as well earlier on in the year. And Coach McChrystal told him there was no way he was going to be getting the football from that fullback position. He was only going to be blocking, so he saw his opportunity to pick up that ball about 4 or 5 yards deep in the backfield of the Regina Rams in the fumble and managed to scramble ahead for about a 4 or 5 yard pickup. It'll net out to a 1 yard gain for the Regina Rams. They're sitting on the Hilltop 33-yard line now, 2nd and 9.
Corey Borsa, 5'11", 222 pounds, also out of O'Neill, and he also does some coaching there as well. Leeson wants the pass.
Well, the Regina Rams can do no wrong today. Sean Harvey from that slot back position. We've seen him take his patterns out to the far side of the field on a number of occasions. This time he broke it back inside to the post. Darrell Leeson with a good throw. Sean Harvey with a great catch at the other end. Goes up high over top of that Hilltop defender. Drags the ball down. He's tackled about the 3-yard line, so the Regina Rams are threatening to add to their lead. Darrell Leeson now 7 for 10 for 124 yards here, and we've got almost 10 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
9 minutes, 40 seconds to be exact left to go here in the opening half. The Rams lead it 17-0, and they're pressing for more. Again is DeMauer, fights hard, gets down to the touchdown.
I think actually that was Jamie Bailey on that play again in that triple diesel formation, as we've seen Jamie Bailey lugging the ball for the Regina Rams in that short yardage. This time going to the left. Jamie Bailey puts his head down, runs right over top of linebacker George Robertson and crashes into the end zone for another touchdown for the Regina Rams.
One man is not going to bring Jamie Bailey down. It usually takes 2 or 3, and sometimes that's not even good enough. It certainly wasn't on that play. Jamie Bailey, and is that his first touchdown of the season? I do believe it is. Jamie had some injury problems during the regular season, but the guy works hard in practice. He's working hard here this afternoon, running well, and he gives the Rams a 23-0 lead, awaiting the point after attempt by Matt Kellett. Here it is, and it is good. The score, the Regina Rams 24, the Saskatoon Hilltops no score. 9 minutes, 31 seconds left to go in the opening half. You are listening to Rams football.
Regina Rams have taken an early 24-0 lead over the Saskatoon Hilltops in the Prairie Football Conference final. Somewhat of a change from last year when the Hilltops were leading the Rams 10-3 after the first quarter in last year's final. The Rams coming back to lead at halftime 17-10. Here at Taylor Field with Jamie Bailey taking it in from 4 yards out. The Rams are ahead 24-0.
We are back at Taylor Field in Regina. The Rams lead the Hilltops 24-0 in this, the PFC final. And on the kickoff there, the Hilltops did pick up some good yardage on the return, Paul.
Well, it was a high kickoff by Matt Kellett that time, again kicking into what appears to be a stiffening breeze here this afternoon at Taylor Field. The ball hung up there a little bit, but wasn't very deep, and usually Matt Kellett can get it down around the goal line. Hilltops did a good job of bringing it out to their own 49-yard line.
Sheldon Ball is their quarterback. Tell you what, he's got his work cut out for him now. He wants to pass. It is attempted for number 17, and Derek Fink almost came up with the interception. It was right in his hand. Derek will not be happy with that.
Well, I talked to Derek before the game and asked him how many interceptions he was going to come up with here today, and he told me 5, and he certainly had a great opportunity for number 1 right there. The ball sailed over the head of the Saskatoon Hilltop defender and plopped into the arms of Derek Fink. I think he was one of the most surprised players on the field, actually, and he had a lot of open field down that far sideline in front of him.
Derek Fink, one of the nicest kids you'd ever want to meet. 6'1", 180 pounds in his 3rd year out of Regina, and he is a Miller High School grad. 20 years old. Ball wants to pass under some pressure. Nothing doing. Is that Michael Marlowe? Yes, his 2nd sack of the ball game.
Well, again, again, Mike Milo has really come into his own playing that rush end position. It took him a few games to get sorted out exactly how to play that, but now he understands. You do it from the outside, you get to the depth of the ball carrier, and then you close down on him. He did a great job that time of just running down Sheldon Ball, gets him for a big sack. The Hilltops force the punt again.
Greg Moe into punt from about his own 25-yard line. Chris Frankowski and Jason Beulah standing back at about the Rams' 25. Moe gets away a low line drive kick that bounces at about the 25-yard line. Beulah mishandles it. The Hilltops had a chance to recover, but a big heads-up play there by who else but Corey Borsa, his second fumble recovery in the ballgame.
Well, a fifth-year player for the Regina Rams, Corey Borsa, and you always want to look to your fifth-year guys to make sure that they do a job for you. Corey Borsa has come up with a couple of very key fumble recoveries for the Regina Rams. 46-yard boot by Greg Moe drives the Regina Rams back to their own 25-yard line. They'll start from there, 1st and 10.
Corey Borsa among several Ram 22-year-olds playing in their final season. Jamie Bailey, Doug Clark, Todd Fuchs, Jeff Haggerty, Ian Kidd, Michael Milo, Marco Ricci, and Scott Waters are the other guys graduating this year in their 5th and final season. The give on 1st down is to Maurer. He fights hard for about 5 or 6 yards on 1st down.
Well, a good play by linebacker George Robertson that time, as it looked like Mike Maurer was going to crack that off-tackle run. Just squeezed through there after about 5 yards. Robertson got over and got a hand on him, but Mike Maurer blows by him. Again, there's a lot of open field, so the Regina Rams have come close to really busting a couple of big ones here, and it's been some saving tackles from the Hilltops that have really kept this thing, if you want to call it under control, at 24-0, I guess you might think that from their point of view, they might be happy with that right now.
On 2nd and 6, Gleason wants to run. He will have the 1st down as he takes it across the 35 to about the 39-yard line. That will be the Rams' 11th 1st down of this ball game.
Well, again, just doing almost anything they want out there right now against this Hilltop defense. And this has been a very stubborn defense all year long, actually yielding very few points in the Prairie Football Conference this year. The Saskatoon Hilltops ended up only giving up 126 points in the 8 regular season games. So they are having their difficulties out here this afternoon, though, controlling this very potent Ram offense.
Next to the Rams, that was the lowest mark in the PFC, so you know this Hilltops defense is a good one, but right now, they're not looking too good against this Rams offense. To give it to Mike Maurer, we have flags down in the backfield. Maurer picked up a gain of about 8 yards. We'll see what the flags are about.
Well, a preliminary signal is holding against the Regina Rams, so Mike Maurer, after slashing forward for about a 7-yard gain, is going to have that negated. Regina Rams has started from their own 39-yard line, so this is going to be a 10-yard penalty against them, push them back to their own 29-yard line. They're going to go from there now, first and 20.
Holding,
How many penalties
Regina,
is that for the
number
Rams
52.
today? Is that their first?
First time repeated.
They certainly haven't had too many.
3rd penalty. We've had 1 illegal procedure, 1 clip, and 1 holding.
That's not a bad total at all so far. What about the Hilltops? How many penalties have they had?
The Hilltops this afternoon have taken a total of 3 penalties for 30 yards, so we're even in the penalty department.
On 1st and 20. Gleason drops straight back to pass, then he wants to run with the football. Gathering speed, still going across the 50-yard line to about the 52 or 3, and that will easily be a 1st down.
Well, if it's 1st and 20, you give it to your leading rusher, and that is Darrell Leeson for the Regina Rams. He scampers forward for a big 22-yard pickup. That's 6 carries on the day for Darrell Leeson and a total of 68 yards, so you can understand why he's the leading rusher of the Regina Rams.
6'4", 220 pounds, and smooth as silk when he's running with that football, Paul.
And quick and strong as well.
It is 1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 51-yard line. The pitch is to Mike Maurer. He heads to the outside, and he is forced out of bounds by Mitch Barber, but not before he picked up a gain of about 3 yards.
Well, trying to use Mike Maurer's speed outside that time. Darrell Leeson had run inside on the Saskatoon Hilltop defense in the previous play, trying to string it out a little bit now, but Mitch Barber does a good job of seeing Maurer heading for that far sideline, manages to get a hand on him, pushes him out of bounds after about a 3-yard pickup, brings the ball out to the Ram 53-yard line. They're looking at 2nd and 7 from there.
Got 6 minutes and 20 seconds Left to go in the opening half. It has been all Regina Rams, folks. They lead it 24-0. Not what we expected in this PFC final, and not what you usually expect from these two football teams. Mike Mauer running hard, brought down after a gain of about another 3 yards, but the Rams will be short of the first down, and Matt Kellett comes on to punt.
Well, again, a good play by linebacker Sam Daou for the Saskatoon Hilltops that time. It looked like Mike Mauer again was going to find some open field to run in, but Daou sliding along behind that line of scrimmage gets him down after about a 4-yard pickup, but that'll leave the Rams about 3 yards short of that first down marker, and Matt Kellett is on the field to punt the ball back to the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Matt Kellett, the second-ranked punter in the PFC with a 39.6-yard average, was ranked third in Canada. Boomed an 80-yarder earlier in the season and also has 7 singles to show for his punting effort. We have a flag down almost immediately. Kellett angles it and puts it out of bounds. Not a very deep kick. They call it out of bounds at about the Hilltops 37-yard line. We'll see what the flag's about.
Well, we're going to get a procedure call against the Regina Rams that time, and the Saskatoon Hilltops were coming with a punt block, obviously trying to see if they can do something to turn this game around, trailing 24-0 with 5:42 left to play here in the second quarter, but forced the Regina Rams into taking a procedure penalty. They're going to decline that because it was a very poor kick from Matt Kellett. Only traveled a total of 15 yards. So the Hilltops are going to take over on their own 37-yard line, 1st and 10.
Sheldon Ball certainly has his work cut out for him now. During the regular season, he was the backup to Dave Reedy until Reedy went down with a collarbone injury. Ball completed 29 of 55 passes for 345 yards during the regular season. He threw 1 touchdown pass and threw 3 interceptions.
Well, and he's in a very difficult situation here, obviously, being a rookie quarterback and trailing 24-0. He's going to have to get that ball in the air.
They give, or fake the give to Tazowski. Ball in trouble once again, almost fumbles the football. He is brought down in the backfield. We have flags down, and they're calling unnecessary roughness against the Regina Rams. I'm not so sure.
Well, I'm not so sure, but we won't say too much about it.
We always get in trouble.
Yeah, we always get in trouble whenever we talk about the officials and don't agree with some of their calls, so better left unsaid. In any event, the Regina Rams are going to take a 15-yard unnecessary roughness call, and that's going to give the Saskatoon Hilltops the first down out at the Hilltop about 52.5-yard line. So a big play for the Saskatoon Hilltops as a result of that piling on top of the quarterback, Sheldon Ball.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much, Paul. I'm already 22nd on the most hated list. I don't want to move up to 15, and I'd hate for you to get on that list.
Well, 22nd and 20. How many were there on the list in total?
About 25.
Were you in good company?
Well, Peter Pocklington, Lonnie Gleiberman, they're right there with me.
Oh, all right. Well, you're doing okay then.
On 1st and 10, the give is to Brad Churchwell, and he is brought down after a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. A lot of gang tackling going on right now by that Regina Rams defense. They are playing superbly.
Well, again, we see the Saskatoon Hilltops not displaying a lot of confidence in their pass attack, trailing 24-0. Just a little handoff to Brad Churchwell right into the teeth of that Ram defense, and it's going to be a long afternoon for them if they're only going to be picking up 4 yards of carry on first down. And they traditionally, when they get in that 2nd and 6 situation, like to put the ball in the air. We'll see if maybe the defensive coordinator, Alex Smith, will come with a blitz this time.
Let's see what happens on 2nd and 6. Ball rolling up to his left, has a lot of open field. He will run, and he will have the first down across the 45 to about the Rams' 44-yard line.
Well, the Regina Rams tried to come with a blitz that time. Randy Sorchinski from his middle linebacker spot, but the Saskatoon Hilltops did a good job of picking it up. And Sheldon Ball just rolling to his left, saw that there was some open field over there, made sure he got to the first down marker, skidded in safely at the 45-yard line. So Hilltops put a first down on the board. They need to get some points.
4 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the first half of football. The Rams lead it 24-0. 1st and 10 for the Hilltops Ball wants to throw, has a man open. That's Kozowski out of the backfield. Haggerty misses the tackle, comes up, but Todd Luke says, you ain't getting by me, buddy. And he stops him about 4 yards short of the first down.
Well, and some big heat on the quarterback, Sheldon Ball, that time, rolling to his right, and Lloyd McDonald, coming from his inside linebacking position, puts a big hit on Ball just as he delivered the ball. Kozowski, the outstanding player in Canada last week, does a good job of staying on his feet and getting forward for about an 8-yard pickup. But the important news on this play is the trainers are out, and they're talking to quarterback Sheldon Ball. He was roughed up tremendously in this last Regina Rams Saskatoon Hilltop meeting. That's going to bring on a new quarterback for the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Well, as mentioned, Dave Reedy, their number 1 guy, is out with a broken collarbone. Brad Williamson is the number 3 quarterback. And actually, talking to Alex Smith, the defensive coordinator of the Regina Rams, he says he fears this kid. He says he is a good athlete and a good quarterback.
Well, he certainly feels that he's maybe a little better passer than Sheldon Ball. I don't think he has the same kind of mobility that Sheldon Ball does, and that's obviously very important to the Saskatoon Hilltop defense or offense. It will give them, the Regina Rams, a little bit different look when they're out there on defense, but they are concerned about Sheldon Ball as the trainers still are talking to him down about midfield.
With 3 minutes, 56 seconds left to go in quarter number 2, the Rams lead the Wildcats 24-0. This is the Prairie Football Conference Final, and you are listening to Rams Football.
Quarterback Darrell Leeson has continued here in the Prairie Football Conference where he left off during the regular season. During the regular season, Darrell had 65 carries for 641 yards rushing, 3rd in the PFC, and tops on the Rams. He also passed for 1,660 yards and 11 touchdowns. He scored 8 touchdowns, was involved in 19 touchdowns during the regular season.
Walking off ever so gingerly towards the sidelines, but he'll have to sit out for a couple of plays anyways, Paul.
Well, he was, as I mentioned, was racked up in that last encounter, and the initial report was that they thought that he had broken ribs, actually. It turned out to be bruised kidneys. I'm not sure which one would be better, but in any event, being the tough young man he is, he came back and played against the Calgary Colts last week, but he doesn't look too spry right now as he ambles over to that Hilltop sideline.
Brad Williamson, now at quarterback, the 3rd stringer for the Hilltops. He has a 2nd and 2 situation here from the Rams' 38-yard line. The give is to Kozowski, and a good job by the Rams defense, I think, to keep him short of the first down. He'll be close, but he'll be short by probably about a half a yard.
Well, the last time they got into a situation like this, Dave Hardy elected to try to keep the drive alive, and there was a mishandle on the snap by the Saskatoon Hilltops, and the Regina Rams defense turned the ball over to the offense. This time they're looking at about 3rd and maybe a little bit shorter this time, maybe only about half a yard. Looks like they've got to get just across the 35-yard line in order to pick up that first down. Dave Hardy's elected to go for it again.
And as can be the problem when you get a new quarterback in there working with the center, there's sometimes a problem with the snap. Let's see what happens here. Good, and Williamson does go forward. Did he get enough for the first down? We'll see where they mark the football. That's what will be most important here.
Well, they had to get just, looks like just across that 35-yard line, and I can see the spot down here by one of the linesmen, Bob Milton. Regina, he had his foot just across that line. The referee is now signaling that it is a first down for the Saskatoon Hilltops, so this gamble paid off for the Hilltops. They'll start now from the Rams' 35-yard line, 1st and 10.
3 minutes, 23 seconds left to go here in the opening half of football. The Rams are in front, 24-0. Right now, though, the Hilltops have the football. They are on the move from the Rams' 35, 1st and 10. Williamson wants to pass, has some time, has a man open. Is it good enough? They say no. That pass is attempted for Jim Box. He made the catch, but he was out of bounds.
Well, Jim Box way over on that far sideline, and Brad Williamson putting the toss up. It would have been enough for the first down, but the ball sailed on him a little bit again. Box forced to go high in the air for the ball, was unable to keep his feet in bounds over in that far sideline. So that's going to put the Hilltops in a 2nd and 10 situation. See if the Regina Rams come with some heat this time.
Want to put some heat on a rookie quarterback, and this guy doesn't move as well as Sheldon Ball does. We'll see what they do here on 2nd and 10. Williamson wants to pass, drops straight back, looking deep, and no good. Todd Fuchs back there to provide the coverage. 2 men in the area for the Saskatoon Hilltops. Reagan Simpson and Brennan Foble, neither one of them could come up with the catch.
Well, it was just a long throw by Brad Williamson that time, and it seemed like the wind maybe played a little trick there as it sailed over top of all 3 of them. Todd Fuchs was back there just backpedaling as the ball sailed over his head. The Saskatoon Hilltop defenders had to go over their heads as well. So Greg Moe onto the field now for the Hilltops, and he's going to attempt a 42-yard field goal to see if he can get the Saskatoon Hilltops on the board against the Regina Rams.
Greg Moe good on 13 of 21 during the regular season, and wouldn't you know it, 42 yards is his longest one of the season so far. Let's see what he can do here. Ball down, up, and it is wide. Danny Pascu brings it out of the end zone and is brought down at the 5-yard line. And the Rams will scrimmage 1st and 10 from there.
Well, that's exactly right. He brings it out of the end zone, so they'll get the benefit of that new rule that they have bringing the ball out of the end zone. You don't have to give up a single point now. If you get it out of the end zone anywhere inside that 20-yard line, it's automatically respotted at the 20. So the Regina Rams defense bent a little bit there, gave up some yardage, but again, no points to the Saskatoon Hilltops.
And that will make Alex Smith, the defensive coordinator, very happy.
He will be excited about the way his Chargers have played here this afternoon, not giving up any points with only 2:36 remaining to be played here in the 2nd quarter.
Leeson, Darrell, that is the quarterback. You got Bailey and Maurer in behind him in the backfield. They fake the counter to even. Leeson lets the ball go, complete to Jason Beulah for a 1st down. Leeson was awfully close to that line of scrimmage. I don't see any flags down, though, so it should be a Rams 1st down.
Well, what a threat that is to the Saskatoon Hilltop defense. Darrell Leeson just faking the pitch and then faking the counter to Chad Eamon. He starts to roll to his left and looking downfield, forces the Hilltops to come up, dumps it over top of their heads. Jason Beulah comes up with the catch. The Rams have a 1st down at their own 31-yard line.
We have got 2 minutes and 28 seconds left to go here in the opening half. The Rams lead it 24-0 over the Hilltops in the Prairie Football Conference Final. On 1st and 10, Leeson wants to run. Breaks a couple of tackles. Still goes across the 40, across the 45, across the 50 to about the 51-yard line. Another outstanding run by one of the greatest athletes you could ever put your peepers on, Mr. Darrell Leeson.
Well, Darrell Leeson had the peepers of the Saskatoon Hilltop defensive lineman on him, but he managed to just break away from those tackles, rumbles for a big 21-yard pickup, moving the ball out to the Rams' 50-yard line. So they've got another little march going here, and with 2:14 remaining to be played, they may be adding to this 24-0 lead that they enjoy over the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Mike Maurer, the lone man in the backfield. He takes the pitch. He runs hard over the left tackle, and he picks up a gain of about 5 yards.
Well, again, a good run by Mike Maurer and a good job by that offensive line up front, just giving him that little seam on that off tackle, and Maurer uses his good quickness to squirt through there. Didn't look like there was going to be very much developing, but he brings it out to the 54-yard line. That's good for a 4-yard pickup, so the Regina Rams just on their side of center field, looking at 2nd and 6 from there.
1 minute, 50 seconds left to go here in quarter number 2. The Rams with 14 1st downs thus far in the ball game. The Hilltops have 6. Leeson, a little stutter step, then decides to run with the football on 2nd and 6. He picks up a couple more and is brought down about 4 yards short of the 1st down. Todd Meisner in on the tackle.
Well, Todd Meisner did a good job from his D-line position that time, just falling in the hole as Darrell Leeson tried to run through, managed to get a swat at his legs and knocked him out from underneath him, so he only picks up a couple on the play, getting it over center field down to the Hilltop 53-yard line, but that'll leave the Rams about 3rd and about 3, so Matt Kellett onto the field here with 1:37 to play in the 1st half.
Coming up at halftime, we'll chat with Brian Eltham, the president of the Rams Alumni Association, and we might even chat a little bit with my partner, Mr. Warren Woods. Matt Kellett's punt, a low line drive kick, bounces at about the 25, and chases Kozowski back to his own 15-yard line. He makes a nice move to pick up some yardage, but is brought down at the 21-yard line by about 4 or 5 Regina Ram tacklers. Sroczynski in there, Royal Harden, Chris Frankowski in there as well as Johnny Carmichael, a Saskatoon boy.
Well, it was only a 37-yard kick by Matt Kell at that time, but he did a good job of angling it over to that sideline. It didn't give Chizowski any room to operate in. He tried to cut it back to the far side of the field, but Regina Ram coverage team was down there. They get him down at the 21.5-yard line. So a minute 14, the Saskatoon Hilltops have the win here in the second quarter. They do not have any points on the board so far this afternoon.
And obviously, Sheldon Ball still feeling a little wonky. He has not returned to the ball game. The third stringer, Brad Williamson, now at quarterback. 1st and 10 for the Hilltops. They give to Churchwell up the middle. He fights hard and will have a gain of about 8 or 9 yards on first down.
Well, the Regina Rams defense just playing a little soft in there, obviously not wanting to give up anything big to the Saskatoon Hilltops, to give them any momentum here as we wind down the second quarter. Played almost an error-free half of football here and jump out to that big 24-0 lead over the Saskatoon Hilltops. A monumental task for them to come back here this afternoon.
A minute and 5 seconds left to go. Quarter number 2, the opening half. Rams lead it 24-0 over the Hilltops. On 2nd and 1. They give it to Churchill. Randy Sroczynski, talk about penetration, got through and brought him down for a big loss, a loss of about 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and long for the Hilltops.
Coming with some pressure from that linebacking core again. Randy Sroczynski just setting up over top of the tackle of the Saskatoon Hilltops. He just blasts straight ahead, gets into the backfield of the Hilltops, wraps up Churchwell at about the 32-yard line, so it's close to that first down marker. They're having a discussion. One of the Hilltops is indicating that he feels that Churchwell did pick up enough for the first down. Rams aren't so convinced. The referee's calling for the change.
Man, I thought he was brought down behind that, but I guess when they spot the football, that tells the true story.
I thought he was tackled down about the 30-yard line, but the spot ended up at the 32, so maybe it was just on the hip. Pushed him back, and we look at some of the statistics here for Mr. Chizowski on the day. Now 10 carries for 26 yards, an average of 2.6 per carry. So coming off a big week last week against the Calgary Colts, where he was the outstanding player in Canada, Chizowski's had his troubles here this afternoon.
And they did give the Hilltops the first down. They will go 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line. We have 51 seconds remaining in the opening half of football. The Rams lead it 24 to diddly. On first down, Williams wants to throw. Complete to Chizowski. And he is brought down after a couple of moves by Sean Haggerty in there. Jeff Haggerty, pardon me. And that will be a pickup of about 9 yards for Mr. Chizowski.
Well, just running him out of the backfield over into that flat, clearing the corner. Todd Fuchs there with the wide receiver. Haggerty forced to come over from his defensive half spot all the way out to the near sidelines here. And one-on-one against a shifty guy like Chizowski does a good job of getting him out after a 9-yard pickup. Ball sitting on the Hilltop 41-yard line. 32 seconds left in the half.
Another 2nd and short situation for the Hilltops. My guess is Williamson's going to take it forward himself. But no, my guess is wrong. Gives to Chizowski. And Chizowski is wrapped up almost immediately on the line of scrimmage. But again, it depends on where they mark the football and whether or not he will have a first down.
Well, I think that Chizowski was kind of wishing that Williamson would have kept that ball. He took a big hit that time just as he hit the line of scrimmage. Linebacker Wavell Starr moving up and putting a good smack on him. Looks like they may have gotten enough for that first down. Again, they're talking to the Ram captains about whether it's a first down or not. Looking at the chains, and there's going to be a penalty marched off against the Regina Rams offside. So the play is academic as it's going to move the ball to the 46-yard line of the Saskatoon Hilltops. They'll go from there 1st and 10 with 28 seconds left in the half.
Well, if they say turnaround is, in fact, fair play, that is exactly what the Regina Rams have done here this afternoon. Last couple of games, they have not had good first half. Today, they had an excellent one. They have scored 24 points. The Hilltops have nothing. 28 seconds left to go here in the opening half. Williamson wants the pass. It is intercepted by Wavell Star. He brings it across the 55 and into Hilltop territory. Another big turnover for the Regina Rams.
Well, that defense has done just a great job all year long, and again, this game is no exception. Wavell Star just dropping into that hook zone from his linebacking position. The rookie quarterback, Brad Williamson, dropping back, looking downfield, trying to make something happen, throws the ball right into the arms of Wavell Star. He gets it back upfield across midfield to the 54-yard line of the Hilltops, and the Regina Rams have 21 seconds left to work with here.
And they might get a chance here if they can come up with one or two big plays to get in field goal range for Matt Killett. He has kicked a 50-yarder this year, right here at Taylor Field, as a matter of fact. Right now on 1st and 10. Leeson wants to pass. He's looking for one big play. It is complete to a wide-open brother, Michael. Michael ran a little backwards, though, and his forward progress should give him a gain of about 6 yards.
Well, he probably had closer to 10 on that play, Ron. You're absolutely right, but after he caught the ball, he tried to use his speed to see if he could get around the corner, but that Hilltop defensive secondary is very quick, and they were able to close down on him, got him tackled about the 48-yard line of the Hilltops. 6-yard pickup. Rams will be looking at 2nd and 4, and they've called a timeout here with 14 seconds to see if they can preserve a little time in that clock and work this into field goal range for Matt Killett.
Paul, we've talked all year long about all of these guys and the 9 gentlemen that will be graduating this year. Once again, Jamie Bailey, Corey Borsa, Dougie Clark, Todd Fuchs, Jeff Haggerty, Ian Kidd, Michael Milo, Marco Ricci, and Scott Waters. All have made such great contributions to this Rams organization over the past several years.
Well, you're right. We mentioned earlier how you have to look to those players on your football team at this time of year to really provide some leadership, and we saw what Corey Borsa did here this afternoon. 2 key fumble recoveries that he made for the Regina Rams, and those are the kinds of things that you got to have those veterans doing for you throughout the year, but really as you get into the playoffs, their importance really becomes magnified.
You look at a guy like Dougie Clark, too, has been an all-star almost every year he's played here. A great football player, doesn't say a lot off the field, but on the field, he does all of his talking and does it very, very well. 14 seconds left to go, some early movement. Leeson is brought down in the backfield, kind of roughly after the whistle had blown.
Well, they actually blew that whistle, I think, before the play got started that time, but some of the Hilltops elected to keep coming. They were offside on the play and ran into quarterback Darrell Leeson. I'm sure that won't make head coach Frank McChrystal or offensive coordinator Bernie Schmidt very happy. Don't want to have them messing with their star quarterback at this stage of the game here. 11 seconds to go in the first half. Regina Rams up 24-0.
Darrell Balzer and George Robertson seemed to move there early. They were both in on the tackle as well.
Darrell Leeson having a little discussion with head referee Al Rags about the treatment that he got behind the line of scrimmage as well, but it's not going to have anything to do with it. The Regina Rams, a 5-yard penalty on the offside against the Saskatoon Hilltops, moves the ball down to the 43-yard line of the Hilltops. And Regina Rams will go from there 1st and 10 with 11 seconds remaining to be played.
Time maybe for one nice little 10-yard pass and perhaps a field goal by Matt Killett. Right now, Leeson wants to run. No, he pulls up, throws the football. Yes, what an outstanding grab by Harvey on the far sideline. It was tipped by the Hilltop defender. Harvey made the catch, but wait, it might be coming back. There was a flag down. No, it's a penalty against the Saskatoon Hilltops for rough play. They are really digging themselves a hole.
Well, they are digging themselves a gigantic hole here. I'm not sure exactly where the rough play took place, but it may have been on the quarterback, Darrell Leeson, after he delivered that football. But Sean Harvey, with some great concentration on the far side of the field, picked up that ball after it was tipped by a Hilltop defender. Regina Rams are going to have the ball down to the 12-yard line of the Saskatoon Hilltops. 4 seconds left to play here in the first half. Matt Killett will be on the field to see if he can add to this 24-0 lead that the Regina Rams enjoy.
He is 1 for 1 in the field goal department so far here this afternoon. This one will come from about the 19-yard line. Right at the 19-yard line, as a matter of fact. Chris Orban, another Ripple boy, is in to hold. Orban, the 3rd-string quarterback for the Regina Rams. Awaiting the snap. It is down, and it is up, and it is good. make the score. The Regina Rams 27, the Saskatoon Hilltops no score with 1 second left on the clock in this opening half.
Well, just a very, very good half by the Regina Rams that time. Obviously, that last drive indicative of what's gone on here this afternoon. Regina Rams picking up that interception by Wavell Star about their own 40-yard line, and a couple of good plays and a couple stupid penalties by the Saskatoon Hilltops. They found themselves on the 11-yard line. Matt Kellett kicks that field goal and adds another 3 points to the score. So Saskatoon Hilltops were trying to drive at the end of the half to see if they could come up with some points. And lo and behold, the Regina Rams adds their lead.
And on the final play of the first half, Williamson just takes the snap from center, goes down on one knee, and this first half, folks, has been all Regina Rams. They lead the Hilltops 27-0 in this, the PFC final. We have got to take a break. When we come back on the halftime show, we will chat with Brian Eltham, a 5-year member of the Regina Rams, now the president of the Rams Alumni Association. Stay right there. The halftime show will be coming up next. You're listening to Rams Football.
That's the end of the first half here at Taylor Field in the 1994 Prairie Football Conference Championship Final. During the first half, the Rams got off to an early lead at the 43-second mark with quarterback Darrell Leeson taking the ball in from 1 yard out. At the 5:18 mark, kicker Matt Kellett kicked a 29-yard field goal to put the Rams ahead 10-0. At the 10:10 mark of the first quarter, quarterback Darrell Leeson completed a 35-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Danny Goodmanson, and the Rams led 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, fullback Jamie Bailey had a 4-yard touchdown run at 5:29 to put the Rams ahead 24-0, and with 1 second left in the first half, kicker Matt Kellett had a 19-yard field goal with the score at the end of the first half 27-0. We'll be back with the second half in just a few moments.
Yards. The Hilltops only picked up 80.
The opening kickoff by Matt Kellett, not very deep. Kevin Zazowski kicks it at his 20 and brings back a nice run back to about the 40-yard line, where the Hilltops will start 1st and 10. And Paul, they have certainly got their work cut out for them against this tough Rams defense.
Well, and the other amazing statistic to me actually is, if we look at Sheldon Ball, was 2 for 4 for 19 yards in the passing department for the Saskatoon Hilltops, and Brad Williamson was 1 for 4. So the Saskatoon Hilltops, trailing badly in this football game, almost from the opening bell, have only put the ball up 8 times in that first half, and I think that's a real indication of how they feel about themselves and what they have to do to get back in this ball game.
Williamson is the quarterback now. He fakes the handoff and loses the football. And they say in junior football that it is immediately down right there, and it will be a loss of about, well, maybe 3 or 4 yards.
I think what they're actually going to call there is that it was an illegal or incomplete forward pass, as his arm was coming forward and the ball popped out of his hand. So you got the benefit of the doubt there. It could very easily have been a fumble, but official on the spot ruled it an incomplete forward pass. And the other thing I just wanted to mention was the first half that Darrell Leeson had. He was 10 for 13 for 158 yards in the passing department, and he rushed the ball for a total of 91 yards on 8 carries. So just an unbelievable half of football for quarterback Darrell Leeson.
We are just underway here in the second half. Williamson's pass is complete to Sukachov, and he will have a gain which will be pretty close to a Hilltops first down.
Well, just leaking out into that flat, and again going with those very short passes. Little dump pass from Brad Williamson over to Brad Sukachov. He manages to struggle forward for about a 9.5-yard pickup out close to the 50-yard line of the Hilltops, but I just am amazed that they don't try to get that ball down the field a little bit and see if maybe they can work themselves back into this football game.
How about the Rams defense? How do they approach this second half? They know they're good. They know it's going to be tough for the Hilltops to score 27 points on them and get back in this ball game, but I guess they can't stop. They just got to keep coming at them.
Well, you're absolutely right. When you look back to the previous game that they played, it was 24-0 in the second half for the Regina Rams, 27-0 in this first half, so that's a total of 51-0 against the Saskatoon Hilltops in what would have been a complete game if you combine the second half and the first half of this football game.
It was 3rd and short for the Hilltops. Williamson kept it himself and went forward, and he should have enough for the first down.
So we've got a very late flag popping out there, so we'll have to see what's going on. They're talking to the Hilltop captains there, but that flag came out about 15 seconds at least after the play was over, so obviously it was something that happened well after the completion of the play. We're going to get an objectionable conduct against the Saskatoon Hilltops, and what appeared to be a first down for them is going to get wiped out, push them back deeper into their own territory down to the 40-yard line. So this may change their strategy a little bit here.
If you were the head coach of the Saskatoon Hilltops, what would you have told your boys at halftime?
Well, I don't think it's the kind of a thing where you even want to talk about just making the score respectable at this stage of the game. You're in the Prairie Football Conference championship game. Obviously, you have to win it if you want to continue on. Otherwise, you're going home to hang up your equipment. So I would like to see the Saskatoon Hilltops really attempt to get back in this football game as opposed to that real conservative offense they've been running.
13 minutes and 40 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Williamson fakes the handoff, wants to throw. It is complete to Reagan Simpson. Very close to that first down marker.
Well, again, going with about a 10-yard out over on that far side of the field. Reagan Simpson just driving down the field, breaking to that sideline. A good throw that time by Brad Williamson. He again picks up about 9.5 yards, so again, just short of that first down marker out about the Hilltop 50-yard line.
In the first down department, the Rams have managed 16 in this ball game. The Hilltops 9. But after a slow start, they have been moving the football a little better. But as Paul says, they have been conservative. And when you're trailing 27-0, conservative doesn't work. On 2nd and 1, Williamson wants to pass, has a man open. It is complete for the first down into Rams territory. On the receiving end there was Brennan Fogle, his first catch of the ball game.
Well, and he's shaken up a little bit after a big hit put on by corner Todd Fuchs out there. Closed very quickly on him, actually dropped the ball when he hit the ground. Official on the spot ruled that he was out of bounds, though, and had possession of the ball when he went out. But again, a big hit by corner Todd Fuchs, driving him to the turf, and he's a little slow getting up. Doctor for the Regina Rams, Dr. Brian Barudi's down there talking to him, but seems to be all out right now as he gets up and sprints off to the Hilltop sideline.
He'll have to come out for a couple of plays. Replacing Brennan Fogle will be Tyler Sotnikow. And it is 1st and 10 for the Hilltops from the Rams' 49-yard line. Actually make that 46-yard line.
I'm sure you'd like to have the Saskatoon Hilltops. Coach Hardy would love to have them come down and score on this opening possession here in the third quarter. Maybe give them a little confidence and hope for a few breaks.
The give is to Tzowski. Looked like he was going to go off tackle. Brings it back up the middle. We'll have a gain of about 7 yards. We do have a flag down on the play. Another late flag in the defensive backfield of the Regina Rams.
And it's going to be a face mask call against the Regina Rams. One of the defensive linemen appeared to have a hold of Tzowski's face mask as he was crashing through there.
Unnecessary roughness, Regina.
Face
mask.
Might have been Wavell Star on that. We didn't quite get the call, but looked like it might have been Wavell Star moving over, grabbing him by the face mask. So some pretty good offensive production here by the Saskatoon Hilltops to start this second half as they drive the Regina Rams down to their own 22-yard line. They're looking at 1st and 10 from there.
Interesting upset in the CFL today, Paul. Hamilton knocking off the Calgary Stampeders 27-24.
Well, some of the old alumni, Garney Henley and Angela Moscow, had really tried to rally the city and get people out there, and obviously it had an effect on the team as they come up with a huge win over the Calgary Stampeders.
On 1st and 10, Williamson wants to pass, has a man open. That's Reagan Simpson inside the 10 to about the Rams' 8-yard line, and that will be another Hilltops first down. They are moving.
Well, they have put together a fairly good drive here, aided by some penalties and some good play by their quarterback, third stringer Brad Williamson. Delivers a perfect strike to Reagan Simpson in between a couple of the Ram defenders. Lloyd McDonald moving over from his linebacking position, and Dan Pascu from that safety slot, but Reagan Simpson comes up with a catch at the Ram 8-yard line.
Brennan Fobel back into the ball game. He is wide to the near side of the field. Williamson wants to pass again, rolls a little bit to his right. It is complete to Kozlowski. Does he have the touchdown? No. He is brought down at the 1-yard line. Jeff Haggerty, Randy Stroczynski, Lloyd McDonald in there as well.
Well, again, a good job by Kozlowski coming out of the backfield and getting all the way out to that far sideline. That's a long way for the Regina Ram linebackers to be able to cover a very quick and elusive running back. But Kozlowski does a good job of coming up with the catch, reaches for that end zone. He's unable to get it in, and now we see him down on one knee on the field. So obviously maybe hurt himself a bit when he went to the turf down at the Ram 1-yard line.
We do have 11 minutes and 59 seconds left to go here in the third quarter of this PFC final. The Rams leading the Hilltops 27-0.
Well, the Saskatoon Hilltops said earlier this week that their goal for offensive production was to come up with 23 first downs. Right now they have 12, but no points on the board.
On second and goal, the give up the middle is good for the touchdown. Kirby Fry, and that was his first carry of the ball game.
That was Kirby Fry's first carry of the ball game, and it's going to go for a 1-yard touchdown for the Saskatoon Hilltops. So Coach Hardy, after firing up his troops at halftime, obviously wanted them to come out and see if they could put a score on the board right away in the third quarter. They accomplished that now. Score 27-6 for the Regina Rams over the Saskatoon Hilltops. The point after coming up.
Greg Moe will handle the point after, and there's a bit of a surprise too, Paul. Kirby Fry, their leading rusher last season, their second leading rusher this season. As a matter of fact, last year in the PFC, the point after attempt by Greg Moe, by the way, is good, making the score 27-7. But Kirby Fry was the leading rusher in the PFC, and all the PFC last season, they're hardly using him here this afternoon. Why?
Well, Kirby Fry has not been used very much by the Saskatoon Hilltops actually all year long. We had the opportunity to watch them play against the Edmonton Huskies very early in the season, and Kirby Fry did not even start that game. Did finish the year with 77 carries for 436 yards, and more importantly, about a 5.7-yard average. So it really is beyond me why they haven't used him. He is a very strong, built low to the ground, tough, hard-running tailback, and has caused the Regina Rams some trouble in the past.
And speaking of trouble, I understand Mr. Fry did get in a little bit of trouble earlier this season in Saskatoon. We don't need to bring that up or talk about it, but maybe that has something to do with it.
Well, that may be the case, and maybe the coaching staff is sending a message to the rest of the players on the Saskatoon Hilltop football club that that kind of conduct will not be tolerated, and Kirby Fry may be paying the price for that.
Greg Moe on the kickoff. It is a deep one that is fielded by Dan Goodmanson at his own 5-yard line, brings it up across the 20 to about the 24, where the Rams will scrimmage 1st and 10.
Well, we would have liked to have seen Dad Goodmanson take that ball outside, tried to elect to go with the middle return that time, but with his great speed, if he could have broke that to the sideline, we might have had an exciting play in our hands. But after the Saskatoon Hilltops take that opening kickoff and drive the field and put a touchdown on the board, Regina Rams now will come out and start at their own 23-yard line, 1st and 10 from there.
With 11 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Darryl Leeson still at quarterback. Mike Maurer, the lone setback in the backfield. They fake the give to Maurer. Leeson has all kinds of time. Lets it go. It is picked off by linebacker Sam Dow. He brings it back to the Rams' 25-yard line. And all of a sudden, the Hilltops are back in this football game.
Well, that's exactly what the Regina Rams do not want to do here right now, and that is give the Hilltops any sort of idea that they can scramble back into this football game. They took that opening kickoff in the third quarter and put it in the end zone against the Regina Rams, and now on the Rams' first offensive play, Saskatoon Hilltops come up with a big turnover by linebacker Sam Dow. They've got their offense back on the field at the Rams' 26-yard line. 1st and 10 from there.
It is now up to the Rams defense to come through for their football team. The Hilltops with a bit of momentum going here. On 1st down, they fake the handoff to Kozlowski. Williamson wants to throw again. Attempted for Reagan Simpson. Marco Ricci providing the coverage there. It is incomplete.
Well, not a very good throw by Brad Williamson that time, just rolling to his left a little bit, pulled up and tried to deliver the ball to Reagan Simpson over on that far sideline. Marco Ricci with some good coverage in that zone defense of the Regina Rams in front of Reagan Simpson. Had to throw it over top of his head. Marco Ricci goes up high in the air to see if he can get it, but the ball sails over top of both of them for a long incompletion. Hilltop, 2nd and 10 from the Rams' 26-yard line.
In case you're just joining us, Brad Williamson, the third-string quarterback, now in handling that chore for the Saskatoon to make a big play, and enter Jeff Haggerty.
Well, Jeff Haggerty, another one of those one of the graduating players, not a 5-year player, but a graduating player of the Regina Rams. And again, you look to those guys for the big plays. He comes up with a huge interception for the Regina Rams to take that momentum away from the Saskatoon Hilltops. A big interception, runs her back over midfield, so the Regina Rams thwart that offensive series by the Saskatoon Hilltops. Darrell Leeson and his mates back in the field didn't have a very good start to this third quarter. See if they can pick up the pace a little bit here now.
Darrell Leeson still having a little chat with the referees, as is a member of the Saskatoon Hilltops, trying to figure out what happened there.
Well, it was obviously something in terms of the blocking that was going on as the flag was thrown just as Jeff Haggerty was tackled, so there may have been an illegal block by the Regina Rams that time downfield after the big turnover, but it's going to be a holding call.
Holding.
Against the Regina Rams.
Saskatoon.
No, it's going to be holding against the Saskatoon
Decline.
Hilltops. Decline.
Legal block.
We've
Regina
got an
number
illegal
29
block
after
against
the
the
interception.
Regina Rams.
First down, Regina.
And they're going to net that out to a 40, put the ball down at the 47-yard line of the Regina Rams. They'll have a first down from there.
Jamie Bailey, Michael Maurer are in the backfield for the Rams. Beulah and Eamon to the near side of the field here. Harvey and Shaw to the far side. The give is to Maurer. He is hit right at the line of scrimmage, and that is exactly where he goes down. It will be 2nd and 10 for the Rams.
Well, we see the Saskatoon Hilltops playing with a little more enthusiasm on defense, if you like. That time with some good surge from their D-line and some great penetration from their linebackers. Mike Maurer with nowhere to run on that particular play. He's tackled right at the 47-yard line. That'll put the Rams in a 2nd and 10 from there.
10 minutes even left to go in the third quarter. The Rams lead the Hilltops 27-7 on 2nd and 10. Leeson wants to run across midfield into Hilltops territory. He will have the first down to the Hilltops 46-yard line. Leeson again. When that boy wants to run, when he wants the first down, he will not be denied.
Well, a big 16-yard pickup by Darrell Leeson on that particular play, and again using his great speed and strength, just simply running away from the Hilltop defenders, crashes into the safety of the Saskatoon Hilltops. Brian Shan runs him over, picks up another couple of yards. He's got the ball down to the Hilltop 46-yard line.
Both Leeson brothers out of Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan. Both great athletes. Here, Leeson on first down, pitches to Mike Maurer, finds the running top once again. And again, he finds it difficult just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, he finds it hard to get back to the line of scrimmage, and we've got Doug Clark downfield about 10 yards, tied up with one of the linebackers of the Saskatoon Hilltops, George Robertson. So coming from his guard position, does a good job of moving that linebacker back, but unfortunately there were some other people at the line of scrimmage, and they nail Mike Maurer after only about a 1-yard pickup. So they'll go from the Hilltop 45-yard line now, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that was quite a battle between Robertson and Dougie Clark, and it happened about 10 yards downfield, not a place you usually see an offensive guard.
A guard and a linebacker out at the near sidelines here, about 10 yards downfield.
You can bet that Mr. Clark will see him again. Chad even on the counter play. Doesn't have much room. Makes a couple of jukes, a couple of moves, and he'll be brought down after a gain of about 3 yards. It will be 3rd and long for the Regina Rams, and Matt Kellett will come on to punt.
Well, the Regina Rams are going into the wind here in the third quarter, so obviously one of the strategies has to be is to burn up the time off that clock. They've done a good job of that. Actually, their defense came up with a big turnover to give them back a lot of field position. Now with a very good kick by Matt Kellett here, if he can get it out of bounds, put that defense back on the field and see if they can hold the Hilltops down in their end of the field.
Sheldon Duval and Kevin Tazowski standing back at about their own 5-yard line, awaiting this Matt Kellett punt. Kellett trying to angle it out of bounds. Tazowski lets it bounce in front of him. Looking for the football, and Tazowski very fortunate there that the ball bounced right in front of him. And he did manage to pile on top of it. The Hilltops will scrimmage First and 10 from their own 12-yard line. 8 minutes, 14 seconds left to go in the third quarter. The Rams lead at 27-7. You're listening to Rams Football Live.
Sophomore quarterback Sheldon Ball late in the second quarter. Brad Williamson has had to come on in charge of the Hilltops. He led them to a touchdown run by Kirby Frey at 3:12 over the third quarter to put the Hilltops on the scoreboard. And at the present time, it's 27-7 for the Regina Rams in the Prairie Football Conference Championship Final.
Rimmer, Paul Barbie back at Taylor Field in Regina, where the Rams lead the Hilltops 27-7. On second down and 4, the pass is complete for Churchwell, but Marco Ricci comes up to make the big defensive play. They will have the first down, but a nice tackle there by Ricci.
Well, very good coverage by Marco Ricci that time, just keeping everything in front of him. Obviously understanding the score, 27-7 for the Regina Rams over the Hilltops. Doesn't want to let anybody get in behind him. Lets the big fullback catch the ball in front of him, and then he steps up and delivers a blow. Knocks him down at the 16-yard line of the Hilltop. They will pick up the first down. They'll go from there, 1st and 10.
Marco Ricci, 5'8", 178 pounds, one of those fifth-year players we were talking about, 22 years old, out of O'Neill High School. Marco also does some coaching at O'Neill, coaching the defensive backs there. And what better guy would you like to have coaching your defensive secondary than Marco Ricci? The give on first down is to Brad Churchwell. He's fighting hard, and he'll be awfully close to another Hilltops first down. Give him a gain of about 8 yards.
Well, just scrambling ahead, using some good power that time with the big fullback, just crashing forward into that teeth of that Regina Ram defense, but he refuses to go to the turf and manages to get the ball out to the 25-yard line, so that's going to be about a 9-yard pickup on the play. Hilltops now looking at 2nd and 1 here with 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Brad Williamson is the quarterback. Churchwell and Tizowski are in the backfield. Reagan Simpson now in motion to the far side of the field. Flags are down as they give to Tizowski. He has all kinds of room across the 40 and is finally brought down at about the Hilltop 42-yard line. I do believe this one will be coming back on a procedure call, Paul.
Yep, that was a pretty obvious one. I think maybe some of the Regina Ram defensive people saw that penalty as well and maybe let up a little bit, not let Tizowski get loose around that far side of the field. Big hit put on by Jeff Haggerty at the end of the play, driving Tizowski into the ground, but what would have been a very nice run is negated on a procedure call against the Saskatoon Hilltops. That'll push the ball back inside the 20-yard line. They got to get her out to the 26-yard line for the first down.
It will be 2nd down and about 6.5 yards to go. Brennan Fobel to the near side of the field here with Reagan Simpson. Jim Box is wide out to the left. It is picked up by Jeff Haggerty once again. The pass attempted for Brennan Fobel, but Haggerty makes an outstanding play to step in front of him, pick up the football. Haggerty's 2nd interception of this quarter and the ball game.
Well, a very big interception again by the Regina Ram defensive secondary unit. We're going to get a penalty here on Jeff Haggerty as he just throws that ball into the stands, and the official flags him for objectionable conduct immediately, but obviously very happy about what he had accomplished. And we see the equipment manager for the Regina Rams, Brad Hirschmiller, scrambling and dancing into the stands to get that football back. He's not about to lose one of his $65 footballs. Look at the moves he's got dancing around in there.
Yeah, he wasted very little time in getting into the stands and getting that football back. And Jeff Haggerty also got a little talking to for Frank McChrystal when he got to the sideline.
He's very excited and very happy, but kind of turned a little sour for him quickly.
In any case, the Rams have it first and 10 from the Hilltops 30. Leeson drops straight back to pass, has all kinds of time, looking for Josh Shaw, but it is knocked away. A nice defensive play there by number 20 for the Saskatoon Hilltops, Curtis Albers.
Well, Josh Shaw from his wide receiver position running downfield and then trying to break it across the middle to the post, but the ball was delivered a little bit high. Josh Shaw never really came open on that particular play. Again, a lot of time for Darrell Leeson in the pocket, but ball floated a bit as they're going against that wind. Just seemed to take off just at the end of it. Balls for a long incompletion.
We haven't mentioned it yet this afternoon, but of course, Josh Shaw, a member of the Rams, and Simon Shaw, a member of the Hilltops. A little trouble in the Shaw household. On 2nd and 10, Leeson wants it all, looking for Goodmanson. And I'll tell you what, there was good coverage there by number 28 for the Saskatoon Hilltops, Justin Loshak, who's had a pretty good game, but that was awfully darn close to interference.
Well, it was, because he was running down the field with his back to the quarterback that time and wasn't really aware of where the ball was. Danny Goodmanson tried to cut underneath him to see if he could get it, but Loshak got a hold of his arm and pulled it down, and official was right there, ruled that there was no interference on the play, so that's going to stall the Regina Ram drive at the 32-yard line of the Saskatoon Hilltops and bring on Matt Kellett to attempt a 39-yard field goal.
Mr. Kellett, 2 for 2 so far here this afternoon in the field goal department. This one is down and up, and it is just a little bit wide. Right out of the end zone by the Hilltops across the 10. Still going across the 21-yard line. On the return there was number 29, I believe, for the Hilltops.
Number 25.
25, Sheldon Duval.
Yep, Sheldon Duval back there and picked that up. And again, we see the effects of that wind. It just seemed to hold the ball up, and it fell a little short for Matt Kellett.
With 4:39 left to go in the third quarter, the Rams lead it 27-7 in this PFC final. You are listening to Rams football on
Here at the Prairie Football Conference final championship game, the Regina Rams are leading the Saskatoon Hilltops 27-7 in the third quarter. Joining the fans this afternoon at the game are the Regina Lions Junior B Band, the official band of the Regina Rams, and they've been entertaining the crowd this afternoon. We look forward to having the band with us during the duration of today's game.
deep. Derek Fink comes up with the interception. Still on his feet. Brings it back the other way across the 40 to the 45. And is brought down at the 47-yard line. Another turnover for the Rams defense.
Well, we saw Derek Fink drop a certain interception earlier on in the game, and this time the ball high in the air, and he does a good job of just playing off the receiver, making sure he's got that good inside position. Goes up high in the air, comes up with the interception, and then did a great job of staying on his feet, actually. Gets the ball back upfield to the 46.5-yard line of the Regina Rams. Again, another big turnover for that Ram defense.
The fourth interception of the ball game for the Regina Rams. Derek Fink's first of the ball game, and I believe that is his 6th of the year. The give on first down is to Jamie Bailey. He fights hard and rocks his way for a gain of about 9 yards.
Well, that man is a pleasure to watch when he carries the football. A big, huge, strong fullback. Just puts his head down. One of the safeties, little Jason Weber of the Saskatoon Hilltops, moves up to make that tackle. Jamie Bailey just gives him a headbutt at the end, knocks him straight backwards, and picks up another 2 yards in the carry. Over the midfield stripe, he's got about 9. Rams are looking at 2nd and 1. Just over that midfield stripe.
There is no way that if Jamie Bailey gets through the defensive line and the linebackers that a defensive secondary man is going to bring that guy down. Bailey gets the carry again. He will easily have the first down. He carries about 6 guys into Hilltops territory to about the 43-yard line, and we do have a late flag down once again.
Well, we've got a late flag, but again, just an outstanding run by Jamie Bailey, getting that ball in that second and very short yardage. Just puts his head down and virtually carries about half of that Hilltop team. You can see linebacker George Robertson, who is a very big hitter himself, hanging on for dear life as Jamie Bailey rumbles down the field, but it's going to come back. A big penalty on the Regina Rams.
Rough play called on the Rams. It will be first down, however, from their own 52-yard line, and all of a sudden, we have another flag down on the play, and I do believe this is going to go against the Rams bench.
I think so. I think there was some talking going on there from some of the coaching staff that time, and obviously not very happy with the rough play call that they had called on him in the previous play, where Jamie Bailey was handing out some rough punishment himself as he was carrying that football. But Regina Rams coming a little bit unraveled here, take a couple of needless penalties after they had a good offensive series going, led by the big fullback, Jamie Bailey.
Dead ball is now all the way back to the Rams' 42-yard line, where they will start first and 10. And I think, Paul, the smart thing for the Rams to do right now is just walk away from all that stuff. The Hilltops are trailing by 20 points. They are obviously in an alley mood, and they're obviously going to try and start things.
Well, there's no question about that. You hit the nail on the head, you walk back, you get in the huddle, get ready for the next play, and do it to them again.
On first and 10, Leeson has all day to pass over the middle for Chad Eamon, and he'll pick up about 12 yards of that loss. It will be second and about 8 yards to go for the Regina Rams. Nice catch by Eamon.
Well, Chad Eamon, another one of the real bright lights, young bright lights of that Regina Ram offense, just hooking up over the middle there. Darrell Leeson again with lots of time, delivers a strike. Chad Eamon's got to go high in the air to pick it off. Manages to get his feet back in the ground, does a good job of scrambling forward. Close to that midfield strike, though. Spot the ball down about the 54-yard line. Rams are looking at 2nd and 8 from there.
2 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Leeson has all day once again. Tries to kind of muscle it in there for Mike Maurer. It was incomplete. The Rams will be forced to punt once again.
Well, again, the only reason they're forced to punt is because of some of those silly penalties that they took on that particular drive, but obviously wanted to send a message to those officials that they aren't going to let some of that stuff just go by without some sort of a comment. Cost them a bit, but they do have the ball at midfield. There's 1:58 left in this third quarter. The Regina Rams are operating against the wind right now, so they'll have that big advantage in the fourth quarter when they turn around here. Another 1:50.
Matt Kellett will punt from his own 40-yard line. Sheldon Duval and Kevin Tuzowski standing at about their own 20. Good snap to Kellett. He gets away. Pretty good one. But Duval fields at his own 25, makes the move back. He's across the 35, has some open field. Lloyd McDonald pressing in. He misses them. And Duval, a nice run back into Rams territory to about the 42-yard line. It is the Rams 27, the Hilltops 7 with 1:24 left to go here in the third quarter. You're listening to Rams football.
Conference Championship Final. The Rams are still ahead of the Hilltops 27-7. The Hilltops defense has come on stronger in the second half, holding the Rams to no points while the Hilltops offense has managed to put in that touchdown. Here at Taylor Field, it's 27-7 for the Regina Rams over the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Saskatoon Hilltops from their own 32-yard line, and the pass intended for Jeff Sukachoff was incomplete.
Well, it was incomplete because he definitely heard footsteps coming. The pass was floated out to the near sidelines here by Brad Williamson, and Sukachoff knew that someone was coming hard. He kind of went up half-heartedly for the football, and then at the last minute appeared to duck as Jeff Haggerty flew right over top of him. So that falls for an incompletion. Hilltops punting to the Rams.
Ron Fuchs, who has had some problems with a shoulder injury, came off the field and favoring that shoulder just a little bit. Hopefully he'll be okay. Jason Beulah fields this Hilltops punt and is brought down at about the 32-yard line.
Well, again, doing a great job back there, just making sure that he catches everything right now. Jason Beulah, a very sure-handed receiver for the Regina Rams, and that's why they have him back there on those punt returns. We saw him really set the tone of this ball game from the opening kickoff as he took it back, gave the Rams excellent field position. They took off from there, drove down and scored that opening touchdown, and the Hilltops never really recovered from that.
33 seconds left to go here in quarter number 3. The Rams in front of the Hilltops in this PFC final, 27-7. We have another penalty called against the Rams, and I didn't see what that call was. Paul, did you?
I think it was an illegal block on the Regina Rams that time on that punt return. We saw Randy Sorchinski coming back, and he actually held up very smartly. He realized he was in behind the coverage of the Saskatoon Hilltops and pulled up, but they must have caught somebody else over there with a block from the back, and as a result, it pushes the Rams a little deeper in their end of the field now. They'll start from their own 19-yard line.
That's where they will scrimmage. 1st and 10. Josh Shaw wide to the far side of the field. Jason Beulah here to the near side, flanked at his wide receiver spot. Chad Eamon also on the near side here. Jamie Bailey and Mike Bauer are in the backfield. The give is to Bailey. Makes a nice move at the line of scrimmage. Flex hard, and he'll be close to another first down as he brings it out to about the Rams' 29-yard line. He might be about a yard short of the first down.
Well, the Regina Rams have certainly utilized the big fullback here this afternoon more than they have all year long, and Jamie Bailey has really responded. A nice little stutter step at the line of scrimmage and then gets going straight ahead. Carries about half of the Regina Rams, or half of the Saskatoon Hilltop defenders with him now. 7 carries for 50 yards in the game. That's a big afternoon's production from a Ram fullback.
Jamie Bailey, a great athlete, as we mentioned, from Moose Jaw, also a very good hockey player, and it's nice to see him getting the football and getting to do his job. This will be the last play of quarter number 3. The give to Bailey once again. Flags go down. Bailey did have the first down across the 30. Let's wait for the call.
Well, again, a good move by Jamie Bailey right at that line of scrimmage to find that little seam and then crash through there. Gets up a good head of steam. Bangs into a few of those Saskatoon Hilltop defenders. Flag was dropped in error, so that'll bring the quarter to an end.
It is the Regina Rams 27, the Saskatoon Hilltops 7. You are listening to Rams football. Leeson wants to run. He has a couple of guys on his back and is finally brought down after a gain of about 3 yards.
Well, Darrell Leeson obviously must have been watching Jamie Bailey carry guys around the field on his back and wanted to get into the act himself. Saskatoon Hilltops were coming with a big blitz that time by Sam Daou, who simply ran right by Darrell Leeson. He manages to scramble forward for about a 2-yard pickup on the play, so a good play by Darrell Leeson when it looked like he was going to be caught in the backfield. Again, displaying some of that great strength that he possesses.
Hilltops have closed the gap a little bit from earlier in the ball game. The Rams now have 19 first downs to the Hilltops 14. Let's see what the Rams can do here. The offense has struggled over the last few series. Leeson under some pressure, lets it go. It is caught. I believe that is Todd Ortner. And that will be a Rams first down. So Leeson, under some pressure, does a good job to evade the oncoming rush and get away the pass for Todd Ortner.
Well, the Saskatoon Hilltops obviously having to take a few more chances on defense, come with a big blitz. George Robertson from his linebacking position had some good heat on Darrell Leeson. Threw the ball up, though, over top of Robertson, and Todd Ortner at the other end of that play comes up with a great catch for the Regina Rams and moves the ball out just over the Rams' 45-yard line. That's enough for the first down. They'll go from there.
Ortner in his 3rd year, 5'10", 210-pound fullback out of Usher, making his first contribution of the ball game. It is 1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 45. The pitch is to Maurer. He is brought down after a gain of about 2.5 yards.
Well, again, trying to get outside of that Saskatoon Hilltop defense, but they're not having anything to do with that time, just getting over there very quickly and shutting that down. And Mike Maurer is a little slow getting up. The Regina Rams are actually quite thin at that tailback position right now. Kyle Orr, normally the backup tailback in this situation, dislocated his shoulder in a work accident when he had a board table fall on top of him. So you don't get hurt in the football field, you might get hurt at work.
And that's too bad for Kyle Ord. Great athlete as well, has certainly made a contribution to this football team this season. Bad time of the year to get hurt. 2nd and 8 for the Rams. The pitch once again to Maurer. He runs hard into that key line of the Saskatoon Hilltops, and he gets a couple more, but the Rams will be well short of the first down and will have to kick it away once again.
Well, once again, we see the Saskatoon Hilltops coming with some pressure that time, sending some extra people, and that's very uncharacteristic of that Hilltop defense. They really like to sit back in that zone cover 3 defense and force you to take the short passes and the short runs up the middle and around the side to see if they can make you drive the length of the field, but obviously recognizing they've got to make something big happen here. They're coming with some heat, and they get the Rams stopped at their own 50-yard line.
Matt Kellett will punt from about his own 35. Duval and Kozowski standing back at about the Hilltops 20. A dandy punt by Matt Kellett. Chases Kozowski all the way back to his 7-yard line, and he is brought down just as he approaches the 15. What a punt by Matt Kellett.
Well, a big 54-yard boot by Matt Kellett. We see the advantage of him kicking with the wind behind his back in this 4th quarter, and he just launches a giant punt down there. Chris Frankowski with a great open field tackle over on the far side of the field. Gets Kozowski down about the 15-yard line of the Hilltops. So they're starting from very deep in their own end with just a little over 12 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter.
Chris Frankowski, one of the gentlemen in on the tackle, a rookie out of Tom Collegiate here in Regina, 5'10", 170-pound defensive back. On first down, the pitch is to Kozowski. He fights hard, and he'll have a gain of about 4 yards out to about the Hilltops. Make it the 19-yard line.
Well, and we've got another very late flag coming down here well after that play was over, so we're going to get a rough play call on the Regina Rams. Looks like maybe they hit him out of bounds, actually, when he got over to that far sideline, but Kozowski just using his good speed to get around that corner and stays in his feet. Haggerty with the tackle over on the far sidelines.
Unnecessary.
They're going to tack on 15 yards, a face mask call against the Regina Rams. So that's how they got him to the ground, but that's going to be a big gain for the Hilltops. Move the ball out to the 34-yard line.
You don't want to give them any extra help, and that certainly doesn't help the Rams' cause on the defensive side of the ball. 11 minutes, 50 seconds left to go here in the 4th and final quarter. The pass is complete from Williamson to Tyler Sotnikow, and he'll have a gain of about, let's say, 3-4 yards maybe?
Well, 3 or 4 yards, obviously, just trying these little short passes and see if they can break one of these receivers. Sotnikow starting from a wideout position and just bending into the middle of that Ram defense. Williamson delivers a strike, but there's enough Ram defenders around to get him down at the 39-yard line, so that'll be a 5-yard pickup for Sotnikow and put the Hilltops in a 2nd and 5 situation.
That with 11 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here in the 4th quarter. Williamson calling out the signals. Takes the pitch to Churchwell, then gets away a nice pass to the far side of the field. Complete to Kozowski, but he will be a yard short of the first down. It'll be another 3rd and short situation for the Hilltops, and obviously at this time of the ball game, Paul, they've got to go for it.
Well, absolutely. There is no tomorrow for the Saskatoon Hilltops, to use a well-used cliche.
I've never heard that before.
I'm sure you haven't. Maybe any of our listeners haven't either, but there is no tomorrow for the Saskatoon Hilltops now. Trailing 27-7, they are going to have to go virtually 3 downs and out on every play from here on in. If they want to get back in the ball game. We look at Williamson's statistics now. He's 10 of 20 on the afternoon for 100 yards, so he's picked up his play a little bit, but the big one is he's thrown 4 interceptions.
You know, it was a 3rd and short. Williamson kept it himself. Now, I don't think he got this one. We'll see again. The mark of the football is always so important. He needed to get pretty darn close to the 45-yard line, and it didn't look like his forward progress was that far. But let's see what happens here.
Well, they've got the chains on the field right now, and they're going to measure this and stretching it out, putting it down. The Regina Rams are jumping up and down, and they have held the Saskatoon Hilltops on that 3rd and short. So another big turnover by that Ram defense.
We will take a break. It is the Rams 27 and the Hilltops 7 in this PFC final. You are listening to Rams Football Live. Ron Miller, Paul Barnaby back at Taylor Field. We'll tell you about a couple of the plays we missed, but right now we can tell you the Rams have it first and goal, actually second and goal from the 2. They give it to James Bailey. Did he get in the end zone? They say no. It will be third and goal for the Regina Rams, but Paul, we'd be remiss if we didn't go back a little bit here while we were away and Dan was selling homes. What a catch by Sean Harvey.
Well, an absolutely outstanding catch. Darrell Leeson took the snap and rolled to his right, which bought him a little extra time, looked downfield and threw it down to about the 4-yard line of the Saskatoon Hilltops. Sean Harvey went high in the air, had one of the Hilltop defenders right beside him.
There was 2 guys.
Exactly. Went up between them and came up with just an absolutely spectacular grab high over his head. That put the Rams down here in very good scoring position against the Hilltops.
They have it third and goal from the 1. Leeson keeps it himself, drives over into the end zone. Touchdown, Darrell Leeson.
And that one, if the Saskatoon Hilltops were not finished, are going to be finished now for sure, as that is a big play by the Regina Rams, a big play by Sean Harvey, and a big play by Darrell Leeson and company putting the ball in the end zone.
And one of the Saskatoon Hilltops, defensive back Jason Weber, the safety, didn't like the fact that Darrell Leeson spiked the ball, was running back to give it back to him, and Darrell said, thanks, I'll take that.
Yes, he took it, said thank you very much, and then threw it back to the official very wisely, so there was no penalty on the play. I think maybe Jason Weber's a little dizzy from that hit he took from Jamie Bailey earlier on in the afternoon, and certainly didn't like what he saw out there right then.
The point after attempt coming up by Matt Kellett, almost blocked, but he did get it through, and you can make the score. The Regina Rams 34, the Saskatoon Hilltops 7.
Here at Taylor Field at the Prairie Football Conference final game, the Regina Rams have gone ahead of the Saskatoon Hilltops 34-7. With me is Saskatchewan Roughriders General Manager Alan Ford. Al, congratulations on your victory. Oh, yeah, we've got all kinds here at Taylor Field this afternoon. Congratulations on your victory yesterday. It was quite a game.
Yeah, it sure was. You know, our guys showed a lot of character rebounding from last week. We lost a real tough one out in BC, and we certainly had the 13th man yesterday with the fans. It was great, and I think it threw them off their game a little bit.
I think it did, and it was fun to be in the stands and watch your team play, and the defense seemed to be really carrying it into this game the way it had played in BC, very tenaciously.
Yeah, certainly our defense has played very well all season long, and I was really happy for Tom Burgess in the offense because Tom threw for 4 touchdown passes, no interceptions, and really took advantage of our defense, how well they were playing, and moved the ball really well. So I'm happy for everybody on our team. We got some punts away without getting them blocked, and kicked a few field goals too, so everything worked out really well.
Well, as all the games are at this time of the year, and particularly for your team, you've got another big game coming up next weekend.
Well, almost every game now is a playoff game for us. We know that to have a real good shot at the playoffs, we have to win our last 4 in a row. We took a huge step yesterday, and this coming Sunday, we've got to beat Vegas, and they got tremendous athletes. They're as good athletes as any team will play against all year, and we have to get after them early and make sure that we don't allow them to get into the game. And if we can do that, I'm sure that we'll be successful.
Well, and there may be another big game here in Regina on the weekend if the Rams are able to sustain their lead. What do you think of today's game?
Oh, I think it's great. You know, the rivalry between the Hilltops and the Rams has been outstanding for many, many years. It's one of the great rivalries in sport. I think that, you know, we're obviously interested because we've had a couple of the Ram players in our camp. Randy Skoczynski has played at least 4 or 5 games with us this year, so you know, we get a lot of benefit by the program that Frank McChrystal has with the Rams, and it's very important to us, as we do with the Hilltop program, because we have a few of their players that are at our camp and in past years have played with us.
Well, thanks very much, Al, for being with us, and we'll go back to the play-by-play with Ron Rimmer and Paul Martin.
On here and win their first game of the 1994 season. They knock off Sacramento here. That's going to be a big, huge lift to the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who came up with a tremendous victory over the BC Lions here, right here at Taylor Field yesterday afternoon before a full house. So we'll see if we can watch that game closely and maybe get a final score.
Greg Moe in the punt. for the Saskatoon Hilltops from about his own 18-yard line. Beulah and Frankowski standing at about midfield. Frankowski picks this one up at about his own 45-yard line, making a couple of moves and brings it out to the 50-yard line after a 33-yard kick by Greg Moe.
Well, again, the Regina Rams are going to enjoy some very good field position here as Frankowski got the ball back almost to the 50-yard line of the Regina Rams. So you can see the effect that this wind has. Greg Moe is punting very well with the wind. It's away a 33-yarder, a little bit shorter than his best efforts of the afternoon here, but Darrell Leeson and company back on the field again, starting out at the Rams' 49-yard line.
Back to that Rider playoff situation because of that win. Yesterday here at Taylor Field, the Riders took over the fourth and final playoff spot by 1 point over Sacramento. Sacramento had that game in hand today, but if they lose, it will be the Riders by 1 with 3 games left for either team. The pass on first down is complete to Josh Shaw, and he is wrestled to the turf by Mitch Barber, but not before he picked up a gain of, we'll see here where they mark the football, give him a gain of 2 yards.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a gain of about 2 yards on that play. Again, just a quick toss to the near sidelines here. Josh Shaw going down, obviously wanting to try to break that initial tackle, but Mitch Barber would have nothing to do with that. Just grabbed him by the back of the sweater and flung him to the turf. So Regina Rams now out to their own 52-yard line, looking at 2nd and 8.
7 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the ball game. The Rams lead it 34-7 on 2nd and 8. Leeson wants to pass, pumps one, looking deep downfield, has it not open. Chad Eamon, and it's just knocked away at the final second by cornerback Justin Lodjak, or else Eamon had another big catch.
Well, he was wide open on that particular play, and actually the ball thrown a little bit right at him. It should have been let a little bit more down the middle like that. Chad Eamon had a lot of room in the center of the field there, just forced to slow down a little bit and wait for that ball, and that gave the Hilltop defenders time to get over and just get a finger on it, so that's going to put the Rams in a 3rd down punting situation.
Chad Eamon, another fantastic athlete on this Regina Rams team. Out of O'Neill High School here in Regina, Matt Kellett's punt is another dandy, high and deep. Chases Kozlowski back to his 25-yard line, but they do the reverse to Sotnikow. He comes back the other way, tries to cut it up the middle, and he might have a gain of, out to about the 24-yard line, and we do have a flag down on that return as well.
Well, yeah, a lot of razzle-dazzle there by the Saskatoon Hilltops, trying to get something going offensively here. If they can't score with their offense on the field, trying to see if they can do it with special teams, but after all that, they're going to take a blocking from behind penalty, push them back further in their own end.
6 minutes, 28 seconds left to go in this PSC final. The Rams lead at 34-7. You're listening to Rams football.
Here at Taylor Field at the Prairie Football Conference Championship Final, the Regina Rams are ahead of the Saskatoon Hilltops 34-7. The Hilltops right now have the ball and are trying to work to get back into this game, but with only 6 minutes left, the pressure is on.
Picked up a gain of about 8 yards. They are now in a 2nd and 2 situation from their own, make it 17-yard line. Williamson is the quarterback now. In case you're just joining us, Sheldon Ball going down with an injury earlier in the ball game. We give us to Kirby Fry. His 2nd carry of the ball game will be a 1st down for the Saskatoon Hilltops, out to about his own 27.5-yard line.
Well, again, the Saskatoon Hilltops, obviously, I think, maybe realizing that it's just a little too big of a mountain for them to climb right now, and electing to keep that ball on the ground and basically grinding up this 4th quarter here. Certainly not going with a huddle or a hurry-up offense or anything like that. So I guess they obviously see the writing on the wall. The Regina Rams are going to advance and win another Prairie Football Conference Championship.
The Rams, the number 2 rated team in the country coming into this game. Windsor AKO Fratman, number 1 right now. That may change before this season is over. The pass was complete at the far side of the field to Brad Churchwell. Fumbled the football With the ball rolled out of bounds, it will be a gain of about 5 yards for the Hilltops.
Well, that's something that the Regina Rams secondary works on very hard, and that's causing turnovers after the catch. And Danny Pascu over there from his safety position did a good job of just stripping that football away from the Hilltop receiver, but fortunately for the Hilltops, it bounced out of bounds at about the 31-yard line, so they'll get credit for 5 yards in that play. They're looking at 2nd and 5 from their own 31.
Hilltops with 16 first downs to this point in the ball game. Now on 2nd and 5, Williamson fakes the handoff, but Jamie Zalewski is back to bring him down in the backfield for a big loss. Michael Milo in there as well.
Well, again, some big heat from that Ram front four. Jamie Zalewski in there now for Chad Zipchin, getting some good penetration. Mike Milo from his rush end position kept the quarterback in the pocket. That allowed Jamie Zalewski to close on him, get him down for the big sack. Hilltops will have to punt the ball to the Rams.
Jamie Zalewski, 6'1", 235 pounds, a 19-year-old in his 2nd year with the Rams out of Wynyard, Saskatchewan. Greg Moe's punt is a pretty good one into the wind. Chases Frankowski back to his 50-yard line, and he is brought down there after a 36-yard punt by Greg Moe almost immediately.
Well, we're looking forward to a very exciting game next weekend against the winner of that Manitoba Conference Final, and that game is going to go Saturday evening at 7 o'clock. Tickets will be available in advance for that particular contest, both at the Rider ticket office and the Ram ticket office, so you'll be able to pick those up starting on Tuesday. So we'd encourage everybody in the city of Regina to get out here and support the Regina Rams, the defending national champions, as they continue their march to see if they can repeat as back-to-back winners.
Looking to make it 2 in a row, and as we look back in previous years, it always seems like they always win them in bunches.
Well, that seems to be a very important trait that the Regina Rams have exhibited over the years, and something I'm sure they'd like to keep going.
Now some of the Ram backups getting a chance to play. Rodney Geis with his first carry of the ball game. And Geis made it to the active roster because of an injury to Kyle Ort.
Well, he's another one of the real bright lights that the Regina Rams are looking at to the future. He's built very low to the ground, possesses some very good strength. He's 81-kilogram running back.
Is he the only guy in there that's, yeah, he's the only guy that has the kilograms.
He's 170 centimeters tall and 81 kilograms, so you can figure that out at home.
I know I certainly can. I never was a very good math student.
The metric system is overtaking us even in football. 1st and 10 meters to go.
The give that time was to Ortner, and again, the safety for the Saskatoon Hilltops, Jason Weber, in there trying to wreak some havoc and get the Regina Rams into some penalty trouble, but they are having none of that at this point.
Well, I'm really surprised, actually, at that kind of behavior from the Saskatoon Hilltops. Obviously, should be recognizing that they've been beaten here by a better football team this afternoon anyway. Maybe feeling a little bit down because they did have that big victory over the Regina Rams early in the year, 16-12 here at Taylor Field, and thinking they might be able to come back, and there's no place for that on the football field here this afternoon.
Matt Kellett punting from his own 40-yard line. DeVal and Tazowski back waiting to receive. We better not say too many nasty things about the Hilltops because Kelly Bowers will be on us like a dirty shirt.
Well, he'll be phoning your show on TV there and making sure his comments are well known.
Kellett's punt. We're just kidding, Kelly. If you're going to hear this game later.
It was a joke.
Kelly's punt, Kellett's punt is a good one. Goes out of bounds at about the Hilltops 20-yard line, and they will scrimmage there. 1st and 10 with 2 minutes and 33 seconds left to go.
Well, a 33-yard kick by Matt Kellett, but more importantly, right out at that sideline marker at the 20-yard line, and no return at all for the Saskatoon Hilltops. Again, we mentioned earlier that one of the strengths of the Hilltop team over the years has been the tremendous play of their special teams, and the Regina Rams has done a good job here this afternoon of holding that in check. Haven't really given up anything very big on the returns at all.
And time is not on the side of the Saskatoon Hilltops. They had a pretty good season. 5 wins, 2 losses, and a tie heading into the playoffs. They had a 27-0 victory over the Calgary Colts last weekend in the semifinal, but just didn't have it here this afternoon against the Regina Rams. On first down, Williamson wants to pass. Has a man open. That's Reagan Simpson. He is across the 35 to the 38-yard line, where he is brought down by Johnny Carmichael and Chris Frankowski as well. That will be a Hilltops first down.
Well, they moved the ball out to the 38-yard line now. A very good throw by Brad Williamson that time. And again, a fellow that's caused some problems for the Regina Rams. Reagan Simpson comes up with a big catch here. He had 8 in the last time that these two teams met, but he's been held in check as well here this afternoon, as he's only had 3 catches for 41 yards on the afternoon.
2 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in this ball game. First and 10, Hilltops from their own 38-yard line. Williamson drops straight back to pass, gets a lot of air under it, and Jeff Haggerty almost came up with his 3rd interception of the ball game. In any case, did a good job to knock that pass away from Brennan Fobel.
Well, Jeff Haggerty was down at the end of that particular play, but on the front side of it, Devin Gusa, coming from his defensive line position, had some good heat on the quarterback, Brad Williamson. Another one of those Moose Jaw boys that has come out, played well for the Regina Rams. Another youngster that the Regina Rams are expecting a lot of big things from in the future.
Yeah, Gusa, 20 years old out of Peacock College in collegiate in Moose Jaw, and Jeff Haggerty on the other end, another Moose Jaw boy from Riverview Collegiate in Moose Jaw. Williamson back to pass on 2nd and 10. It is complete to Churchwell, and what a tackle by Danny Pascu coming up open field. Wow, that was an outstanding athletic play.
Well, that was a very good play, as he had to come a long way from that safety position. Again, just breaking over to the near side here. Churchwell running for that sideline, but Danny Pascu gets a good hit on him, clips the legs out from underneath him, tackles him down about the 46-yard line. That's going to leave him a couple yards short and force the Hilltops to punt the ball to the Rams with 1 minute and 50 seconds left in the ball game.
Surprised they're maybe not going for it here?
Very surprised.
Well, kind of conceding defeat, but Greg Moe's punt is fielded by Jason Pula, and he immediately goes down on one knee.
That was a fair catch. Not wanting to take a chance of having anything bad happen to the Regina Rams, just caught the ball, immediately went down to one knee. That's going to bring Darrell Leeson and company back on the field here now at the 29-yard line of the Regina Rams.
Now tell me, why in the world would the Hilltops not want to go for it there?
I think actually about the 9-minute mark, when we saw the Saskatoon Hilltops running draws and some of their running plays down in their own end of the field, that they had basically at that stage of the ball game conceded defeat to the Regina Rams, and at this stage recognizing 34-7, minute 50 left in the ball game, not possible for them to come back, so they don't want to do anything stupid. Just kicked it back to the Rams.
Rodney Geis on the carry there. Actually, I think that might be Kevin Hicks, number 21. Getting his first carry, or was it Rodney Geis?
Yeah, no, it was Rodney Geis in there at that tailback position. He's got, as I mentioned before, he's a really tremendous hitter for the Regina Rams. And he banged in there, got hit right at the line of scrimmage, but kept his feet underneath him and plowed ahead for a 3-yard gain, bringing the ball out to the 32-yard line of the Regina Rams. They'll go from there now, 2nd and 7.
The clock is running with 1.5 minutes left to go in this PFC final. Another classic between the Regina Rams and the Saskatoon Hilltops. They always are, and this afternoon was no exception, especially if you're a Regina Rams fan. The give to Jamie Bailey, running hard as he has all afternoon, and a huge gain for the first down, brings it out all the way to the Ram 54-yard line, make it to 53, and Jamie Bailey has had himself quite an afternoon.
Well, Jamie Bailey earlier in the year, when he hurt his ankle and was forced to sit out a couple of games, came to Coach McChrystal and was really disappointed in sort of what he'd been able to contribute to this particular team, but he's done a great job here this afternoon of really being an important part of that Ram offense. 11 carries now, 81 yards on the afternoon for the big fullback.
Like we say, if he gets by that front line and the linebackers, a defensive back is not going to bring that young man down. The give is to Bailey once again, and it takes about 8 Saskatoon Hilltops to finally bring him down. Not much of a gain, but he fought hard to get what he did, which was a gain of about 2 yards.
Well, we've got the old water bucket Gatorade over the head of head coach Frank McChrystal down on the sidelines, so the players obviously starting to celebrate this big victory here in the Prairie Conference Championship as they douse him with a bucket of ice water. Jamie Bailey got forward for another 3-yard carry, so the Rams 2nd and 7 now from the Hilltop 54-yard line.
And as we see, it's getting a little chilly here at Taylor Field. It started off to be a pretty nice day. It still is. There's no rain or snow, but when that water hit the field, it immediately turned to ice.
I'm sure it was turned to ice when it hit the top of Frank McChrystal's head.
On 2nd and 8, the give is to Rodney Geist. He will be brought down right at about the line of scrimmage. So the Rams will have to punt one more time with 23 seconds left to go in this ball game.
Well, we may see the Regina Rams here with 23 seconds, maybe just run one more play, take that clock right down to 3 seconds when they have to snap it, give the Hilltops one more chance at it. But rather than risking that long snap to punter Matt Kellett, looks like Darrell Leeson and company are going to stay on the field here for a 3rd and 8 situation from the center field stripe.
Leeson taking his time, 4 seconds left on the time clock. And they will, in fact, let it run down with 1 second left to go on the game clock. And that will do it. That is the ball game. This PSC final is into the books. And congratulations to the Regina Rams who win their 2nd straight, actually 3rd straight, Prairie Football Conference Championship. The final score here, the Rams 34, the Saskatoon Hilltops 7.
Where